What if Naruto awakened an eye beyond the Rinnegan? In the middle of the fourth great ninja war, Sasuke makes the ultimate sacrifice to save Naruto, losing his left eye forever. But when Naruto's life force, Kurama's chakra, and Sasuke's Indra power collide, something impossible is born. A new dojutsu, the Blacklight Sharingan. An eye that doesn't copy, absorb, or control, it erases. But every time Naruto uses it, he risks losing pieces of himself. His memories, his bonds, his humanity. Now, against Obito, Madara, and the Ten Tails itself, Naruto must decide what kind of power he truly wants to become.
The battlefield had gone quiet in the worst possible way, not silent, never silent, not with thousands of shinobi scattered across the broken earth, not with distant explosions still rolling like thunder beyond the shattered ridges, not with the monstrous breathing of the Ten Tails echoing from the horizon like the world itself had grown lungs, but quiet in the way soldiers became when hope had been punched out of them. The allied shinobi forces had fought monsters before. They had fought reanimated legends, masked assassins, forbidden jutsu, and enough death to fill entire histories. They had watched mountains split. They had watched the sky burn. They had watched the dead walk beside the living with stolen faces and stolen techniques. Still, nothing had prepared them for the feeling of standing before Uchiha Madara. He did not move like an enemy. He moved like the ending of a story. Every step he took across the cracked battlefield carried the calm weight of someone who had already decided the outcome. His armor was marked by dust and scars from clashes that would have killed any other shinobi alive, but his expression remained almost bored. The wind pulled at his long hair. His Rinnegan eyes surveyed the field, not with rage, not with urgency, but with ownership. Beside him stood Obito. The mask was gone now, but somehow that made him worse. The man beneath it looked exhausted, hollowed out by hatred and grief, until only purpose remained. One eye burned with the power Kakashi had once trusted as his own. The other, the Rinnegan, watched the world like it was already a dream waiting to be rewritten. Between those two men, the war felt smaller. Kakashi Hatake knew that look in soldiers' eyes. He had seen it on missions gone wrong, on Genin who realized too late that training fields were kinder than battlefields, on Anbu who understood a second before impact that no reinforcement was coming. He saw it now across the allied forces, fear, not panic. Not yet, but fear so deep it had started to become acceptance. Then Naruto Uzumaki stepped forward. His orange chakra cloak flared in the darkness, warm and bright against the ash-coated ground. Kurama's chakra moved over him like living flame, but his hands were clenched at his sides, not because he wanted to strike first, because he was trying not to shake. Sasuke Uchiha came to stand beside him. His eternal Mangekyo Sharingan spun quietly in his eyes, red as old blood and sharper than the blade resting at his hip. His face revealed nothing. It rarely did. But Naruto had fought beside Sasuke enough times and against him enough times to know the difference between arrogance and focus. Sasuke was focused. That scared Naruto more than if he had been angry. Sakura landed behind them a moment later, cracking the ground under her sandals. Her Byakugo seal marked her forehead, violet and bright, her fists wrapped, her eyes locked on the two men ahead. Kakashi arrived at her side, breathing harder than he wanted to admit. For one brief second, the four of them stood together again. Team 7, not children, not students, survivors. Madara tilted his head. Interesting, he said, voice carrying easily over the battlefield. The brats of this era still find courage after all this. Naruto bared his teeth. It's not courage if we just stand around listening to you talk. Sasuke did not look at him. Don't rush. Naruto's shoulders twitched. I wasn't gonna, you were. Sakura almost smiled despite everything. Kakashi didn't. He could feel it. Something in the air was wrong. Madara and Obito were not simply waiting. They were measuring them like hunters watching animals approach a trap. Naruto felt Kurama stir inside him. "Kit!" Naruto's breath slowed. Kurama's voice was low, not mocking, not impatient. "Worried, do not treat them like the others. Either one of them alone would be a disaster. Together they are worse." Naruto's gaze sharpened. No, you understand the words. You do not know the weight yet." Naruto's fingers curled tighter. Sasuke's eyes flicked once to him. "Kurama warning you?" "Yeah, listen to him." Naruto glanced at Sasuke, surprised. Sasuke finally looked back. For once! Naruto gave him half a grin, small, strained, real. Then Madara vanished. The ground exploded between them. Naruto barely crossed his arms before Madara's foot struck him and launched him backward like a thrown stone. He smashed through a broken ridge, chakra cloak flaring to cushion the impact, but the force still tore the breath from his lungs. Sasuke moved at the same instant, sword already drawn, blade flashing toward Madara's neck. Madara leaned aside by less than an inch. He caught Sasuke's wrist. The world blurred. Sasuke hit the ground hard enough to crater it. Sakura came in from above, fist raised, chakra packed into one devastating strike. Madara looked up, almost amused, and shifted back just as her punch struck the earth. The impact ripped a trench through the battlefield, sending slabs of stone spinning into the air. Kakashi used the debris as cover, forming signs faster than the eye could follow. Lightning style, Obito appeared behind him. Kakashi's body reacted before his thoughts could finish. Kunai met kunai. The sound rang sharp and familiar between them. For half a heartbeat, they were not enemies in a war. They were two boys in a field again. Then Obito's expression hardened. "You still hesitate." Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. "And you still pretend you don't." Obito's kamui twisted the air. Kakashi vanished from the spot just before the distortion swallowed him, reappearing several meters away with a body flicker and a ragged breath. His shoulder stung where space had grazed him. Too close, far too close. Naruto burst from the rubble, chakra arms lashing toward Madara from 4 directions. "Sasuke!" "I know." Amaterasu ignited in Sasuke's right eye, black flames erupting across Madara's path. At the same time, Naruto's chakra arms tightened, trying to force Madara into the fire. For one glorious second, it looked like they had him. Madara smiled. Better. The Rinnegan rippled. A crushing force slammed outward. Naruto's chakra arms shattered. The black flames bent away as if reality itself had decided not to touch Madara. Sasuke skidded back, sandals carving twin lines through the earth, his sword raised to guard against the invisible pressure. Madara stepped through the space between their attacks. He did not rush. He did not need to. He struck Naruto first with a palm to the chest. Not hard enough to kill. Hard enough to disrupt the chakra cloak and send pain ripping through his ribs. Then he turned and met Sasuke's sword with the back of his hand. The blade cracked. Sasuke's eyes widened for a fraction of a second. Madara's knee drove into his stomach. Sasuke folded, but before he could fall, Madara caught him by the collar and threw him into Naruto. They crashed together, rolling across the broken ground. Naruto coughed, pushing himself up. "Okay," he wheezed. "That was annoying." Sasuke rose beside him, one hand pressed to his ribs. "Annoying." "I'm trying not to say terrifying. Try harder." Madara watched them with the faintest trace of interest. Obito's voice cut across the battlefield. "You're wasting time." Madara did not look at him. "I am studying. They are children. They are reincarnations." That word froze something in the air. Naruto's brows drew together. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Madara's smile sharpened. "Yes, you feel it, don't you? The pull, the hatred, the bond, the cycle pretending to be friendship." Naruto stood straighter. "You don't know anything about us." "I know more than you think. Uzumaki Naruto." Madara's gaze moved to Sasuke. "And you, last child of a ruined clan, still chasing meaning through power, still believing an eye can show you the truth." Sasuke's grip tightened around his broken sword. Naruto stepped forward. "Don't talk to him like that." Sasuke shot him a look. "I don't need you defending me." Too bad. For once, Sasuke did not answer. Madara's amusement faded. Enough. The word dropped like a blade. Obito moved first. Wood erupted from the ground, vast roots twisting like serpents toward the allied forces. Shinobi scattered, screaming warnings. Sakura leapt into the path of one massive branch and shattered it with a punch, but more followed. Kakashi cut through another with lightning, only for 3 more to coil around the opening. Naruto threw out chakra arms in every direction, grabbing Shinobi, pulling them away, shielding them from impact. That was what Madara had been waiting for. The moment Naruto's attention split. Madara appeared in front of him. Sasuke saw it first. Naruto? Naruto turned too late. Madara's hand struck his stomach. Not a punch this time. A precise thrust, fingers curled around a black receiver rod formed from chakra and will. Kurama roared inside Naruto. The rod did not pierce deep. Naruto twisted at the last instant, chakra cloak flaring violently, but the contact alone sent agony through him. His chakra stuttered. The orange cloak flickered. Across the battlefield, every shinobi who had been relying on Naruto's chakra felt the warmth dim. Madara leaned closer. There it is. Naruto grabbed Madara's wrist with both hands, trembling. There what is? That ridiculous instinct? Madara's eyes were cold. You protect everyone, which means you are always open. Sasuke's Susanoo ribcage formed around him as he charged, purple chakra blazing. Obito intercepted him. Kamui twisted space in front of Sasuke's path. He pivoted, barely avoiding being dragged into the distortion, and launched a volley of black flames. Obito phased through them, expression unchanged. You're slower with anger, Obito said. Sasuke's jaw clenched. I'm not angry. Obito's hand shot through his guard and struck him across the face. Sasuke hit the ground, rolled, and came up on one knee. His left eye throbbed. He ignored it. Naruto was still trapped in front of Madara. Kurama's chakra surged again, forcing Madara back a step, but the black rod remained embedded shallowly in Naruto's cloak, disturbing the flow like poison in a river. Sakura saw the opening. She moved, not toward Madara, toward Naruto. Sakura, don't, Kakashi shouted, too late. She reached Naruto, hands glowing with medical chakra, and grabbed the rod. The second her chakra touched it, her face twisted with pain. Naruto's eyes widened. Sakura-chan, I've got it, she shouted through clenched teeth. You do not, Madara said. He lifted one hand. The rod pulsed. Sakura's knees buckled. Kakashi appeared beside her, slicing through the rod with a lightning-coated kunai. The receiver shattered, but the backlash threw all 3 of them apart. Naruto hit the ground hard. The chakra cloak flickered again and returned, thinner than before. Sakura forced herself up, breathing hard. Her hands shook. Kakashi's left side burned with pain. He ignored it and watched Madara. Madara was no longer smiling. That chakra, he said softly, staring at Naruto. Naruto pushed himself up. What about it? Madara's eyes narrowed. Ashura. Sasuke appeared beside Naruto, one sleeve torn, blood at the corner of his mouth. He isn't Ashura. No, Madara said. He is not, and yet he carries the shape of him. His gaze shifted to Sasuke. And you, Sasuke's Sharingan spun. Indra, Naruto looked between them. Okay, seriously, who are they? Kurama's voice rumbled inside him. Old names, old as in old, older than villages, older than clans, older than every war that pretended it was the first. Naruto swallowed. Madara lifted his hand and the air around him changed. Kakashi felt every instinct scream. Move. The battlefield folded under invisible force, not literally, but it felt that way. Gravity yanked downward, crushing stone, armor, bodies. Naruto drove his hands into the ground, chakra tails bursting from his back to anchor him. Sasuke stabbed his broken sword into the earth, Susanoo bones flaring around him. Sakura pressed one fist into the ground, pouring chakra through her limbs to keep herself upright. Kakashi fell to one knee. Madara walked forward through his own crushing field as if strolling through rain. Obito watched from behind him, expression unreadable. Naruto tried to raise his head. Sasuke, don't talk. Can you move? No, great, me neither. Sasuke's lips tightened. Your jokes are worse under pressure. You're still answering, so they're working. Madara stopped before them. This is the difference, he said. You mistake stubbornness for strength, friendship for strategy, hope for power. Naruto's arms shook. Sasuke's eye burned brighter. You're wrong, Naruto said. Madara looked down at him. Am I? Yes. Naruto forced one knee under him. The pressure doubled. His bones screamed. Still, he moved. Kurama growled. You idiot, help me. I am. More chakra surged through Naruto's body, but the gravity crushed it down almost immediately. The cloak flickered in and out, unstable. Sasuke saw Naruto trying to stand. Something ancient and familiar stirred in his chest. Annoyance at first. Of course Naruto would try. Of course he would refuse to understand when a situation was impossible. Of course he would stand up not because he had a plan, but because someone behind him might need to see him standing. That was Naruto, reckless, loud, impossible, and for reasons Sasuke still did not like admitting necessary. Sasuke's left eye sharpened, Mangekyo pattern spinning faster. Chakra gathered there, deeper than normal, darker and more desperate, not polished, not controlled. It came from somewhere beneath technique, beneath pride, beneath the careful walls Sasuke had built around every wound. Madara noticed, his head turned. Oh! Sasuke forced himself upright. The pressure tried to flatten him. He stood anyway. Naruto saw him and blinked. Sasuke? Don't get ahead of yourself, Sasuke said, voice strained. I'm not letting you stand alone. For a second, Naruto forgot the pain, then Obito moved. A Kamui distortion opened behind Naruto, silent and deadly, timed perfectly with Madara's gravity. Naruto sensed it too late. Sakura shouted his name. Kakashi's eye widened. Madara lifted his hand again, forming another black receiver rod, sharper and longer than before, 2 attacks. One from behind, one from the front. Naruto could dodge neither. Sasuke's body moved before his mind finished deciding. His Susanoo flared in a fractured burst, one skeletal arm shoving Naruto sideways. Sasuke stepped into the space Naruto had occupied. Obito's Kamui tore across his shoulder. Madara's rod came for Naruto's heart. Sasuke met it instead. The strike missed his heart by inches. But Madara adjusted mid-motion. The rod snapped upward, a black blur cutting across Sasuke's face. His left eye went dark. Sasuke made one sound, not a scream, a sharp, broken breath. The force of the blow hurled him backward into Naruto. They hit the ground together. For one moment, Naruto did not understand what had happened. He heard Sakura scream. He heard Kakashi shout Sasuke's name. He heard Kurama go silent. Then Sasuke rolled off him, landing on his side. His left hand covered the left side of his face. Blood slipped between his fingers. His right eye remained open, wide with shock for half a second before pride forced the expression away. But the left eye was gone, not physically gone, not in a way Naruto could let himself fully look at. But the light in it was dead. The chakra that had always burned there like a blade had been severed, crushed, ruined beyond repair. Sasuke tried to push himself up. His arm failed. Naruto caught him. Sasuke. No answer. Sasuke. Madara stood above them, looking down with something almost like curiosity. Foolish, he said. An Uchiha sacrificing an eye for an Uzumaki? Naruto's head lifted slowly. The look on his face changed, not into rage. Rage would have been easier. This was worse. It was horror. Guilt. Fear so sudden it stripped the battlefield away until there was only Sasuke's weight in his arms and the warm blood on his hands. Sakura reached them and dropped to her knees, medical chakra already glowing. Move, Naruto! Naruto did not move. Naruto, I can heal him, he whispered. Sakura's hands froze for half a heartbeat. Naruto, I can heal him. His voice cracked. Kurama's chakra surged without being called. Golden-orange light spilled over Sasuke's body, wrapping around him in trembling waves. Naruto pressed one palm to Sasuke's chest, the other over Sasuke's ruined left eye before Sakura could stop him. Naruto, careful, Sakura shouted. That's not a normal wound. I know, you don't. Naruto's chakra poured out faster, too fast. Kakashi landed beside them, one eye on Madara, one eye on the boys. Sakura? Sakura's face had gone pale. His chakra network is collapsing around the eye. Something from Madara's rod is interfering. If Naruto forces too much, I'm not letting him die, the words ripped out of Naruto. For a moment, everyone heard the boy beneath the warrior, not the Jinchuriki, not the hero of the allied forces, not the one holding the battlefield together with chakra and stubbornness, just Naruto, a boy who had finally gotten his friend back and was now watching him slip away. Sasuke's remaining eye opened slightly. Naruto, he whispered. Naruto leaned closer. Don't talk, save your strength, idiot! Naruto almost laughed. Almost. Sasuke's hand twitched, weakly gripping Naruto's sleeve. Don't waste it. Naruto's eyes widened. Sasuke's voice was barely there. Win? No, Sasuke's gaze sharpened faintly. Even dying, he looked annoyed. No, Naruto pressed more chakra into him. You don't get to do that. You don't get to save me and then act like that's enough. I chased you for years, you jerk. I'm not letting you leave now. Sasuke's right eye trembled. Something moved beneath Naruto's palm, not flesh. Chakra, dark, sharp, ancient chakra leaking from Sasuke's ruined left eye. Indra's signature, though Naruto did not know the name for it. It was not simply Uchiha chakra. It was deeper. Forced upward by desperation and sacrifice, stripped of pride and hatred because in that final instant, Sasuke had not moved to win. He had moved to protect. Naruto's own chakra met it. Kurama's yang chakra burned warm and fierce. Naruto's life force followed behind it, reckless and endless, Ashura's inheritance not as a crown but as a heartbeat that refused to stop reaching. The two powers touched. The battlefield vanished. Naruto found himself standing in darkness, not the sewer of Kurama's seal. Not the inner world he knew. This place had no walls, no floor, no sky. Only an endless black expanse lit by thin rings of violet-white light, stretching outward like ripples on water after a stone had been dropped. Across from him stood Sasuke, not wounded, not whole either. His left eye was covered in shadow, but his right eye watched Naruto with familiar irritation. This is your fault, Sasuke said. Naruto blinked. How is this my fault? You grabbed the impossible chakra reaction with both hands. You were dying. So your solution was to die too? Naruto looked down. His hands were glowing, one with golden light, the other with something darker, black light. That was the only way his mind could describe it. Not darkness exactly. Darkness was the absence of light. This was something else. Something black that still shone, outlined by violet-white fire. Between him and Sasuke, two streams of chakra twisted together. One red-black and sharp as broken glass. One gold-orange and warm as sunrise. They should have rejected each other. They did not. Instead, they circled, completed. A pulse ran through the void. Somewhere far away, Kurama roared, Naruto! Pull back! Naruto turned toward the sound, but there was no direction here. Kurama, the darkness answered first, not in words, in hunger. Naruto felt it brush against him, soft as mist, cold as the space between stars. It did not feel evil, that made it worse. Evil had edges, evil wanted things. This simply opened, a place where anything could be removed, pain, fear, enemies, loss, memory, bonds, everything. Naruto stumbled back. Sasuke caught his arm. Don't listen to it. Naruto looked at him. You hear it too. Sasuke's mouth tightened. No, but I know your face when something stupid is tempting you. Naruto managed a weak grin. Wow, even inside, whatever this is, you're still mean. You need it. The rings of black light widened. Naruto felt his eyes burn, not like Sharingan, not like Sage Mode. Not like Kurama's chakra. This was deeper, like something old had found a doorway in him and decided to open both sides. He saw flashes. A man with Rinnegan eyes standing beneath a moon. Two brothers facing each other across a battlefield older than any village. Ashura reaching, Indra turning away. The sage of 6 paths dividing power and hope, never knowing how long the fracture would echo. Then Naruto saw Sasuke stepping in front of him. Again, the rod, the eye, the sacrifice. Naruto screamed. The inner world shattered. On the battlefield, Naruto's chakra exploded. Sakura was thrown backward. Kakashi catching her before she hit the ground. Kurama's cloak burst outward around Naruto and Sasuke, not orange now, not fully, threaded with black. The air screamed. Madara's eyes widened, only slightly. But for Madara, that was enough to mean the world had changed. Obito took a step forward, his Rinnegan narrowing. "What is that?" Madara did not answer. Naruto knelt in the center of the storm, Sasuke still in his arms. His hands were locked over Sasuke's chest and ruined eye. Chakra poured between them, but not like healing anymore, like a circuit. Like something broken had not been repaired, but answered. Sasuke gasped. His body arched once, then fell still. "Sasuke," Sakura shouted. Naruto's head bowed. For one terrible heartbeat, nobody moved. Then Sasuke coughed, a harsh, painful breath, alive. Sakura broke free from Kakashi and rushed forward, dropping beside him. Her hands hovered, scanning. His heart stabilizing, his chakra network. She stopped. "What?" Kakashi asked. Sakura swallowed. "It's burned around the left eye. I can keep him alive, but I can't restore it." Naruto did not respond. His head remained lowered. Sasuke's remaining eye opened. He looked unfocused, but alive. "Naruto," he rasped. Naruto's shoulders shook. "I'm sorry," Sasuke stared at him. Then, with the last bit of strength he seemed to have, he frowned. "Don't make my sacrifice sound like your mistake." Naruto's breath caught, the black-threaded chakra around them flickered. Madara began walking forward. "That," he said quietly, "is new." Kakashi moved in front of the boys. Sakura rose beside him, fists clenched despite the exhaustion in her arms. Obito watched the chakra with growing unease. Madara ignored both of them. His gaze remained fixed on Naruto. "I have seen the Sharingan in every stage," Madara said. "I have awakened the Mangekyo. I have taken the eternal light. I have held the Rinnegan, the eye of the sage himself." The wind shifted. Naruto slowly stood. His back was to them at first. His chakra cloak had changed. It still carried Kurama's familiar flame, still burned with Naruto's warmth, but along the edges, black lightning crawled like cracks in the air. Not normal lightning. It made no thunder. It simply appeared, thin and sharp, then vanished as if erasing the space it touched. Sakura took a small step back without meaning to. "Naruto?" Naruto turned. His eyes were no longer blue. They were ringed like the Rinnegan, but not purple, black. True black ripples spread from the pupil, each ring edged with faint violet-white glow, like moonlight trapped beneath ink. Tiny Tomo-like flecks drifted between the circles, moving slowly, never fixed in place. Around the sclere, thin black sparks licked outward and disappeared. The battlefield felt colder, not darker, emptier. Naruto blinked once, breathing hard. "What?" Kakashi whispered. Kurama's voice inside Naruto was not loud now. It was careful. "Kit, do not move," Naruto swallowed. "What happened to my eyes? I do not know." That frightened Naruto more than anything else. Madara stopped walking. For the first time since he had arrived on the battlefield, Uchiha Madara stopped because of someone else. His Rinnegan narrowed. The black rings in Naruto's eyes turned slowly. Madara stared. And then, almost too small for anyone else to see, he took one step back. Obito saw it. Kakashi saw it. Sakura saw it. Sasuke, half-conscious on the ground, saw it with one eye. Naruto saw it too. He did not understand the power burning behind his vision. He did not understand the black lightning crawling over his skin. He did not understand why the world suddenly looked fragile, as if every jutsu, every weapon, every lie had a thread somewhere waiting to be cut. But he understood Madara's step. Naruto raised his head. "What's wrong?" he asked, voice rough and shaking, but still his. "You said you knew every eye." Madara's expression hardened. Naruto's new eyes glowed brighter in the night. "Then tell me," Naruto said. "What do you call this one?" No one answered. Not Kakashi, not Sakura, not Obito, not even Sasuke. Only the wind moved. Only the tentails rumbled far away. Naruto looked down at the black lightning flickering around his hand. It glowed without light, burned without heat, and made the air around his fingers vanish in tiny, impossible bites. His throat tightened. "Blacklight," he whispered. Sakura looked at him. "What?" Naruto stared at his own trembling hand. "It looks like black light." Sasuke, from the ground, let out the weakest sound. It might have been a laugh, it might have been a cough. "Terrible name," he muttered. Naruto glanced back at him, eyes still glowing, face breaking for 1 second into something painfully human. "You're alive enough to complain," he said. "I'll take it." Sasuke closed his eye. Madara's voice cut through the moment. Blacklight Sharingan. He tasted the name like a blade. Then he smiled, not with amusement now, with hunger. "So," Madara said, "the cycle has produced something even the sage did not record." Naruto turned back toward him. His legs nearly gave out. The power inside him surged, but with it came a cost so sharp it stole breath from his lungs. His vision blurred at the edges, not from damage, from drain. Like the new eyes were not using chakra alone, but pulling from something deeper, life. Kurama felt it too. "Stop using it. I'm not using it. Then learn quickly because it is using you." Madara lifted one hand. Obito's gaze shifted between Madara and Naruto. "We should proceed." Madara did not look away from Naruto. "Yes." His smile widened. "We should." The ground beneath the battlefield began to tremble. Far behind them, the great husk connected to the Ten-Tails groaned. The sky darkened, clouds turning in slow, unnatural spirals above the war. Kakashi looked toward the horizon. "What are they doing?" Sakura helped steady Sasuke, her face tense. That chakra, Naruto felt it before anyone explained. Something vast was waking, something hungry. Obito turned away from Team 7 and raised his hand toward the distant beast. "The world has resisted long enough," he said. Madara remained facing Naruto for one final moment. "That eye does not belong in a boy who still believes in saving everyone." Naruto forced himself upright. His body shook. His new eyes burned. His friend lay wounded behind him. The enemy wanted the world. And somehow, impossibly, Madara Uchiha had just decided that Naruto had become part of his plan. Naruto clenched his fist. "Good," he said. "Then come try taking it." Black lightning snapped across his knuckles. The sky split with a sound like the world inhaling, and the Ten-Tails extraction ritual began. The sky did not break all at once. It changed slowly, which made it worse. Clouds that had been drifting over the battlefield began to twist inward, pulled toward a center point somewhere above the distant Ten-Tails. The moonlight thinned. The air lost warmth. Every shinobi still standing felt the pressure before they understood what it meant. A deep weight pressing down on their bones as if the world had realized something ancient was waking beneath it. Naruto Uzumaki stood at the center of it with eyes that were not his own anymore. Black rings glowed inside them, edged by faint violet-white light. Tamo-like flecks drifted through the circles like ash in dark water. Around the whites of his eyes, thin strokes of black lightning licked outward and vanished without sound. The Blacklight Sharingan stared across the battlefield. And Uchiha Madara stared back. For a moment, neither moved. Naruto's body wanted to collapse. His legs shook beneath him. His chest rose and fell too fast. Every breath felt like it had to be dragged out of some deep place inside his body, not from his lungs, but from his bones. His chakra was still there. Kurama's power was still there, but something else had opened beneath it, something colder, something hungry, something that did not feel evil exactly. That made Naruto more afraid of it. Madara's smile faded into something sharper and more focused. "Blacklight Sharingan," he repeated, voice quiet enough that only those closest could hear. "A ridiculous name." Behind Naruto, Sasuke gave a weak cough. "Agreed," he muttered. Naruto almost turned, but he did not take his eyes off Madara. The last time he had looked away, Sasuke had paid for it. Madara noticed the restraint and smiled again. There. Already learning. Naruto clenched his fists. Black lightning sparked over his knuckles and bit into the air. The space around his hand vanished in tiny, impossible cuts. Sakura saw it first. "Naruto," she said carefully, one hand supporting Sasuke's shoulder, the other glowing with medical chakra. "Don't move yet." Naruto swallowed. "I'm fine." "No, you're not." "I said I'm." His right eye burned. Naruto flinched. A thin black spark snapped outward from the edge of his vision, not toward Madara, not toward Obito, but sideways, toward Sakura. It moved like lightning but sounded like silence. Sakura's eyes widened. Kakashi reacted before anyone else. He threw himself between them, grabbing Sakura and Sasuke both, dragging them backward with all the speed he had left. The black spark touched the ground where Sakura's knee had been. There was no explosion, no smoke, no impact. A round piece of earth simply disappeared, not cracked, not burned, not blasted away, gone. A small, smooth-edged hollow remained in the battlefield, like reality had forgotten to include that piece of stone. Everyone froze. Naruto stared at it, his hand trembled. "Sakura-chan." Sakura looked from the hole to Naruto. Her face had gone pale, but not with fear of him. With fear for him. Kakashi's voice was calm in the way it only became when things were at their worst. "Naruto, step away from them." Naruto's breath caught. Kakashi's eyes softened, but his tone did not. Slowly, Naruto looked back at Sasuke. Sasuke was sitting now only because Sakura held him upright. Blood still marked the left side of his face, though Sakura had sealed the worst of the wound. His right eye was open, dark and tired, fixed on Naruto. Naruto took one step away, then another. Each step felt heavier than the last. "I didn't do that," Naruto whispered. Kurama's voice growled inside him. "No, but it answered you." Naruto stiffened. "What does that mean?" "It means whatever this eye is, it does not wait for your permission when your fear becomes loud enough." Naruto stared at his own hands. The black lightning crawled over his fingers and vanished. "Then make it stop." Kurama did not answer immediately. That silence frightened Naruto more than any warning could have. Madara laughed softly, not loudly, not mockingly, with delight. "How fascinating." Naruto's head snapped toward him. "Shut up." "Uncontrolled negation," Madara said, studying the hollow in the earth. "Not absorption, not repulsion, not sealing. It removed the target entirely." Obito's gaze narrowed. "It is unstable." "Of course it is." Madara's eyes remained on Naruto. "Power born from contradiction always is." Naruto's blacklight eyes pulsed. Another flicker tore from his shoulder. This one lashed toward Kakashi. "Kakashi-sensei." Kakashi leaned away, but he was too close and too tired. The spark grazed the edge of his flak jacket. The cloth vanished in a clean strip. Kakashi went still. A second deeper, and it would have taken skin or worse. Naruto stumbled backward, horror spreading across his face. "No, no, no, no." Sakura's grip tightened around Sasuke. "Naruto, breathe." You didn't." "I almost did." Sakura's voice hardened. "Then breathe before you actually do." That cut through him. Naruto forced air into his lungs. Once, twice, his hands shook. His eyes burned. The black rings spun once, slowly, then stilled. The flickering stopped, for now. Madara watched the entire exchange with the satisfaction of a scholar discovering a weapon no one had named yet. Obito did not share his patience. "We do not have time for this." He lifted his hand again. The distant ten-tails roared. The sound rolled across the battlefield like a mountain cracking open. Shinobi stumbled. Some covered their ears. Others raised weapons, not because blades would help, but because holding something made fear easier to bear. Massive roots burst from the ground around the ten-tails' body, not attacking yet, but forming a circle. The air above the beast warped as chakra gathered in layers so dense they looked almost physical. Kakashi looked toward it, jaw tight. "The extraction ritual." Sakura's eyes widened. Already, Obito's expression remained cold. "This world's dream has waited long enough." Madara finally turned away from Naruto, though not fully. "Proceed. I will observe a little longer." Obito's mouth tightened. Naruto saw it, the small crack between them. Madara spoke like a man allowing Obito to continue, not following him. Obito had heard it too. Naruto did not understand all of their plans, not yet, but he knew when two people stood side by side without trusting each other. He had lived that with Sasuke. His gaze flicked back. Sasuke's breathing had steadied, but his face had become too pale. Sakura's medical chakra glowed brighter around his damaged eye socket and chest, keeping him anchored. Naruto wanted to run to him. He did not dare. The thought alone made the blacklight in his eyes stir. He froze. Sasuke noticed. "Stop looking like that," Sasuke said. Naruto's throat tightened. Like what? Like you're about to apologize so much I die from irritation. Sakura's mouth trembled, almost a laugh, almost a sob. Sasuke-kun, don't talk. He ignored her. Naruto. Naruto did not move closer. Yeah, did you kill me? Naruto stared. What kind of question is that? A simple one. No, then stop acting like you did. Naruto's fists clenched. Your eye was mine. The words landed harder than any attack. Sasuke's right eye sharpened as much as it could through exhaustion. My choice. Naruto looked away. Sasuke's voice lowered. Look at me! Naruto did. Sasuke held his gaze with one eye, and somehow it was still impossible to escape. I knew what I was doing. No, you didn't, Naruto said, voice cracking. Nobody knows what they're doing when they jump in front of something like that. Sasuke's lips twitched faintly. You would! Naruto stopped. The battlefield roared around them. The Ten-Tails gathered chakra. Madara watched. Obito moved toward the ritual. Shinobi shouted orders. The world was ending in pieces, and still those two words cut through everything. You would. Naruto had no answer, because Sasuke was right. He would have done it, without thinking, without counting the cost, without considering whether the person he saved would spend the rest of their life carrying the guilt. Sasuke leaned back slightly, strength fading again. So don't insult me by pretending I'm weaker than you. Naruto's eyes burned for a reason that had nothing to do with the blacklight. I'm not. Good. Sakura pressed her glowing hand more firmly to Sasuke's shoulder. Now stop talking before I knock you out myself. Sasuke closed his eye. You could try. Sakura's expression sharpened. I'm very close. Kakashi watched them for half a second and felt something twist painfully in his chest. They were still children, not by the standards of shinobi villages, not by the standards of war. But in the moments between catastrophe, when they bickered over guilt and survival, he could still see the three students who had once failed to steal bells from him. Then Madara raised his hand. The battlefield remembered the enemy. A wave of pressure slammed outward from him. Kakashi turned instantly. Incoming! Madara did not attack with fire or wood or Susanoo. He used gravity. The force hit like an invisible wall. Sakura braced herself over Sasuke. Kakashi crossed his arms and skidded backward. Naruto reacted on instinct, stepping between Madara and his team. His eyes flashed. The blacklight answered. A thin crescent of darkness opened in front of Naruto. The gravitational wave struck it and vanished, not all of it, not even most of it, but enough. The pressure split around Naruto's position, carving trenches into the ground on both sides while leaving a narrow space behind him untouched. Sakura felt the force scrape past her like a storm divided by a cliff. Naruto gasped. Pain stabbed behind both eyes. His knees buckled. The crescent vanished. Blood ran from his nose. Sakura's eyes widened. Naruto! He wiped it away with the back of his hand, breathing hard. I'm okay. Kurama snarled. You are not okay. I protected them. You spent life force, Kit, not chakra. Life. Naruto's stomach dropped. Madara's eyes gleamed. So it can respond defensively as well. But the cost is immediate. Naruto glared at him. Don't talk like I'm some experiment. Then stop behaving like one. Madara vanished. Naruto barely saw him, not with speed, with the eye. The Blacklight Sharingan caught the shape of movement differently. Madara's body had a path, but more than that, his chakra had intent. Lines of pressure, choices, openings, possible strikes. Naruto saw them all at once and understood almost none of them. Too much, too fast. Madara appeared at his side. Naruto raised an arm. Madara's kick slammed into him and sent him flying across the battlefield. He hit the ground, rolled, and forced himself up before the second strike came. This time, the black light sparked again. A void flicker snapped between them. Madara twisted away. The spark grazed a strand of his hair. It disappeared. Madara landed several meters back, one hand touching the shortened lock with genuine interest. Naruto stared. He had not meant to do that either. Madara's smile returned, dangerous even by accident. Naruto's breathing grew sharper. He could feel the eye waiting. That was the only word for it, waiting, not like a beast straining against chains, not like Kurama had once raged in his seal. This was patient, empty. It did not push him toward anger. It did not whisper revenge. It simply offered an answer to every threat. Remove it. Madara attacking. Remove him. Abaito starting the ritual. Remove him. The Ten Tails roaring. Remove it. Fear. Remove it. Guilt. Remove it. Sasuke's wound. Remove the memory. Naruto flinched so hard he nearly stumbled. No, that last thought had not felt like his. Kurama's presence surged around him, huge and fierce. Anchor yourself. Naruto closed his eyes. The instant he did, darkness bloomed behind them. He opened them again immediately. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Kurama's voice lowered. Then anchor with something outside you. Naruto's gaze found Sasuke. Sasuke was still sitting with Sakura's support, face pale, one eye closed, breathing uneven but alive. Alive. Naruto held on to that. Sasuke was alive. Sakura was alive. Kakashi-sensei was alive. The allied forces were still standing. The world had not ended yet. His power wanted to answer danger by erasing. But Naruto Uzumaki had never won by making people disappear. He won by refusing to let them go. The blacklight glow dimmed slightly. Madara noticed. "HM." Abaito's voice called from near the ritual circle. "Madara." The ground around the Ten Tails split open. Thick black rods rose from the earth in a wide pattern, connecting to the massive beast with chains of chakra. Abaito stood at the center, hands raised, Rinnegan fixed on the monster. The Ten Tails screamed. Its chakra began to condense inward. Kakashi's visible eye widened. He's pulling its chakra into a controlled vessel. Sakura looked up. "A Jinchuriki?" Kakashi's silence answered her. Naruto's stomach tightened. He had known what it meant to have a beast sealed inside him. He knew the loneliness, the hatred, the fear in other people's eyes. He knew what it did to a child. But the Ten Tails was not Kurama. It was not a person trapped in anger. It felt like a storm before storms had names. Abaito was trying to become the vessel for that. Naruto stepped forward. Sakura shouted, "Naruto, wait! I can't." His eyes burned again. Kakashi moved beside him. "You can't rush in without control." Naruto rounded on him. "Then what? We just watch." "No," Kakashi said. "We think." Naruto's laugh came out harsh. "That's your plan. That has saved us more often than your charging." "Not always." Kakashi's gaze hardened. "And charging has almost killed you more times than I can count." Naruto looked away. Kakashi softened his voice. "Naruto, that power nearly hit Sakura. It nearly hit me. You just blocked Madara's attack and it almost dropped you. This isn't like adding more chakra to a Rasengan. You don't know what it takes from you yet." Naruto's fists trembled. "I don't care what it takes." Sakura's voice cut in. "We do." Naruto froze. She stood with Sasuke's arm across her shoulders, supporting more of his weight now. Her face was exhausted, streaked with dirt and blood, but her eyes were clear. "We care," she said, "so don't stand there saying it doesn't matter what happens to you." Naruto's mouth opened. No words came. Sasuke did not lift his head, but he spoke anyway. "Idiot." Naruto's shoulders slumped. "Okay," he muttered. "Everyone's teaming up on me now." Kakashi let out a quiet breath. Old habits. For a second, Team 7 almost felt like Team 7 again. Then the Ten Tails chakra spiked. A pillar of red-black energy erupted into the sky. The clouds twisted faster. The allied forces shouted in alarm. Madara turned toward the ritual at last, expression unreadable. Abaito stood within the storm, cloak snapping around him, his face set with painful determination. The chakra chains connecting him to the Ten Tails thickened. His body jerked once as the first wave of power struck him. He did not scream. That somehow made it worse. Kakashi's hand tightened around his kunai. "Abaito!" Madara watched with narrowed eyes. Naruto noticed again, not concern, calculation. Madara was not simply helping Abaito become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. He was waiting for something. Naruto's new eyes caught it faintly, a line of intent stretching from Madara toward Abaito's back. Not chakra exactly, not visible in a normal sense, more like the shadow of a decision. Madara planned to betray him. Naruto sucked in a breath. "Kakashi-sensei?" Kakashi glanced at him. "What?" "Madara's going to turn on Abaito." Kakashi's eye widened. Sasuke's head lifted slightly. How do you know? Naruto stared at Madara. I can't see it. Madara slowly looked back at him. Their eyes met. For the first time, Madara's expression lost all amusement. Naruto felt the weight of that stare like a blade. So, Madara said softly, it sees more than matter. Naruto's blood went cold. He had said too much. Sasuke's voice sharpened. Naruto! I know. No, you don't. If that eye reveals intent, he'll start feeding you lies with his movement. Naruto blinked. Madara's smile returned. Sasuke pushed himself more upright despite Sakura's protest. You're seeing too much at once, Sasuke said. That makes you easier to trick, not harder. Naruto stared at him. Sasuke's remaining eye locked onto his. Don't trust everything it shows you. That was not comfort. It was better. It was useful. Naruto nodded once. Right. Madara lifted both hands. Well then, he said. Let us see how much the new eye understands. 5 shadows appeared around Naruto. Limbo. Naruto did not know the name, but his blacklight eyes screamed danger. Empty outlines moved where nothing should have been, invisible bodies pressing through the battlefield from angles no normal eye could catch. His body reacted. Too late. One invisible strike hit his shoulder. Another slammed into his ribs. A third swept his legs. Naruto crashed to the ground. Kakashi threw kunai at nothing, eyes narrowed. Sakura moved to help, but Sasuke grabbed her wrist. Don't, she glared at him. He's getting hit by something you can't see. And you can, Sasuke's jaw tightened. His left side throbbed with phantom pain where sight used to be. No. That admission cost him. Then he looked at Naruto. But he can. Naruto rolled as another invisible attack crushed the ground where his head had been. The blacklight rings spun faster. He could not see the attackers fully, but he could see absence bending around them. Places where the world looked wrong. He pushed up with one hand. A black spark flickered. No, Naruto hissed to himself. The spark vanished, not near allies, not uncontrolled. Again, he moved, dodging the next strike by a hair. Pain flashed behind his eyes, but he forced his breathing steady. Kurama's voice filled him. Left, Naruto ducked. A limbo strike passed overhead. Behind, Naruto twisted. Another attack clipped his side but missed the center of his body. How are you sensing them? Naruto asked inwardly. I am not. I am sensing your fear before you understand it. Naruto would have laughed if his ribs did not hurt. Madara watched with growing focus. Naruto planted his feet. One invisible shadow came from the front. The eye offered its answer, erase. Naruto almost accepted. Instead, he remembered Sakura's pale face when the void nearly touched her. He changed the shape of the instinct, not outward, around. A thin, unstable crescent of black opened along his forearm as he swept it up. The limbo strike touched the edge. The invisible arm did not vanish completely, but the force behind it thinned. The impact still hit Naruto, sending him skidding back, but it no longer broke through his guard. Naruto gasped, blood dripping again from his nose. Madara's eyes narrowed, partial negation. Sasuke saw it too. He didn't erase the attack, he said quietly. He erased enough of its force to survive. Sakura looked from Sasuke to Naruto. That's control for Naruto, Sasuke said. Unfortunately. Naruto staggered upright, one arm hanging slightly numb. He flexed his fingers. They barely responded. A cold tingling ran from wrist to elbow. Kurama growled. Backlash. Naruto gritted his teeth. Already? You touched something you did not understand and forced it into shape. Be grateful the arm remains attached. Naruto swallowed and lifted the arm anyway. Madara's gaze dropped to it. So the price is not merely chakra. Naruto glared. You talk too much. And you survive too much. Madara's limbo shadows withdrew. Not because Naruto had beaten them, because Madara had learned what he wanted. That realization hit Naruto harder than the attack. He was not winning this exchange, he was being tested. And every time he survived, Madara understood the Blacklight Sharingan a little more. Sasuke understood the same thing. Naruto, he called. Naruto glanced back. Sasuke was pale, injured, half-blind, and still somehow looked like he was about to scold him for being slow. Stop showing him everything. Naruto gave him a strained grin. Kinda hard when he keeps trying to kill me. Then be less obvious about how you don't die. Despite everything, Kakashi's mouth twitched beneath his mask. Sakura gave Sasuke an incredulous look. That is not advice. It is for him. Naruto turned back to Madara. His body ached, his arm was numb, his eyes burned with every blink, but his breathing had steadied. The power still waited inside him. The void still offered simple answers: erase, remove, end. Naruto refused to let it be simple. Madara looked past him toward the ritual. Obito's body was now half covered in pale, shifting chakra. The Ten-Tails' roar had become a constant vibration under the earth. Shinobi across the battlefield tried to attack the ritual circle, but wood roots and chakra barriers threw them back before they could get close. The sky above the Ten-Tails had turned into a spiral. At its center, the clouds opened around a patch of black. Sakura whispered, "That's not normal." Kakashi's face darkened. "No." Naruto felt his eyes pulse. The Blacklight Sharingan looked at the sky, and for one impossible second he saw threads, not physical threads, connections. The Ten-Tails to Obito, Obito to the ritual, Madara to Obito, the battlefield to the moon. Everything tied together in lines of chakra, will, and ancient design. Too many, too huge. Naruto stumbled, clutching his head. "Naruto?" Sakura shouted. He waved her back with his good hand. "Don't come closer!" Sakura stopped. That hurt more than he expected, but it was right. Until he understood this power, distance was safety. Sasuke saw Naruto's expression and understood exactly what he was thinking. He hated it. Not because Naruto was wrong, because Sasuke knew what it felt like to become dangerous to the people who cared about you. It was a lonely place. And Naruto, of all people, did not belong there. Sasuke pulled away from Sakura's support. "Sasuke-kun, I can stand." "You absolutely cannot." "I said I can stand." He nearly fell immediately. Sakura caught him with a furious look. "You are impossible." Sasuke ignored her and forced himself upright, using his broken sword like a cane. Naruto turned. "What are you doing, standing? You should be resting. This is a battlefield. You lost an eye. And you gained two dangerous ones. We're both adjusting." Naruto stared at him. Sasuke took one step forward. His balance shifted strangely. Without depth from his left side, the world betrayed him by inches. The battlefield felt uneven in ways it had not before. Distances lied. Shadows hid gaps. He hated it instantly. He took another step anyway. "Sasuke," Naruto said softly. Sasuke stopped beside him, not too close. Close enough. "You can't control it because you're treating it like Kurama's chakra," Sasuke said. Naruto frowned. "How else am I supposed to treat it? Like an eye?" Naruto blinked. "That tells me nothing." "It tells you enough." Sasuke's voice was tight with pain, but steady. "The Sharingan doesn't just give power, it gives perception. The mistake is believing seeing something means you have to act on it." Naruto's gaze flicked toward the ritual threads only he could perceive. Sasuke continued. "You see danger, so your body answers by erasing. Stop answering everything." Naruto looked down. "That simple, huh? No, but you're the one who wanted my advice." "I did not. You looked desperate." "I always look like this in war." Sakura, despite herself, muttered, "He does?" Kakashi nodded faintly. "Often." Naruto shot them both a betrayed look. The tiny moment passed quickly, but it mattered. The blacklight glow eased again. Sasuke noticed, so did Madara. His expression hardened. "Sentiment as a stabilizing mechanism," Madara said. "Of course." Ashura's answer to power was always other people. Naruto turned back toward him. "You say that like it's weak." "It is unreliable." "No," Naruto said. "It's the only reason I'm still me." Madara's eyes narrowed. Obito's voice suddenly tore across the battlefield. "Enough!" The ritual surged. The Ten-Tails' chakra chains snapped tight. Obito dropped to one knee inside the circle, his body shaking as the beast's power poured toward him. His skin flickered pale. Horn-like chakra shapes began forming around his head and shoulders, unstable and incomplete. Kakashi's breath caught. "Obito, stop!" Obito's head turned slightly for a second. His eye met Kakashi's across the battlefield. There was pain there, old pain, buried pain, but not enough doubt. "This is mercy, Kakashi," Obito said, voice distorted by the chakra storm. No more graves, no more guilt, no more waking up in a world that should have ended already. Kakashi's hand tightened around his kunai. You think a dream fixes what we did? Obito's expression twisted. What we did, he repeated. No, what this world did. Madara watched Obito with cold patience. Naruto saw the line of intent again, sharper now. Madara was waiting for the exact moment Obito became powerful enough to matter but not stable enough to resist. Naruto's stomach turned. He's using you, Naruto shouted. Obito's gaze snapped to him. Naruto stepped forward, ignoring the burn in his eyes. Madara doesn't care about your dream. He's waiting to take it from you. Obito's face hardened. You know nothing. I know that look, Naruto shouted. I know what it looks like when someone thinks being alone makes them right. Sasuke's eyes shifted slightly toward Naruto. Naruto did not look back. You think if everyone sleeps, nobody hurts anymore. That's not peace. That's just giving up and calling it kindness. Obito's chakra flared. Silence. A wave of Ten-Tail's chakra burst from the ritual circle. It swept toward the battlefield like a tidal wave, too wide to dodge, too strong to block. Kakashi formed a sign. Sakura braced herself. Sasuke's Susanoo flickered weakly around his ribs, unstable with his injury. Naruto stepped forward. Naruto? All three shouted at once. He heard them. He held on to their voices. Then he raised his numb arm. The Blacklight Sharingan burned, not erased, not all of it, just enough. A wall of darkness opened before him. It was thin and trembling, shaped more by desperation than mastery. Its edges crackled with violet-white light. The Ten-Tail's chakra wave slammed into it. Naruto screamed. The wall did not block the attack. It erased the first layer, then the second. Then it buckled. Chakra spilled around the sides, blasting trenches through the battlefield and knocking shinobi from their feet. But the center held just long enough for Sakura, Kakashi, Sasuke, and dozens of nearby shinobi to survive. The wall shattered. Naruto fell to one knee. His arm hung uselessly at his side. Blood dripped from his nose, and one eye, not red from the eye itself, from the strain behind it. Sakura rushed forward, then stopped herself inches away, remembering the void flicker. Her hands clenched helplessly. Naruto, he looked back at her and forced a smile. See, better. Sakura's eyes shone. That was not better. Sasuke stared at Naruto's arm. Can you move it? Naruto tried. His fingers twitched once. Pain shot up to his shoulder. Kind of idiot. Yeah, Naruto said, breathing hard. You mentioned. Madara's expression had changed. The curiosity remained, but beneath it sat something colder. Concern, not fear, not yet. Concern that if Naruto survived long enough to understand the Blacklight Sharingan, he might become something Madara could not simply overpower. Madara turned fully toward Obito. The ritual was nearly complete. Obito floated slightly above the ground now, wrapped in unstable Ten-Tail's chakra. His face twisted with pain and resolve. The beast behind him roared as more of its power was dragged inward. Kakashi whispered, He's really doing it. Naruto pushed himself upright again, swaying. We stop him. Sasuke stepped beside him, leaning on his broken sword. With what? Naruto looked at the ritual threads twisting between Obito and the Ten-Tails. His blacklight eyes narrowed. I don't know yet. Sasuke gave him a sideways look that has never stopped you before. Naruto grinned weakly. Nope. The sky above them split wider. The clouds opened into a black spiral rimmed with pale light, mirroring Naruto's new eyes in a way that made every shinobi who saw it feel suddenly small. The Ten-Tail's roar rose into something almost like words. Obito lifted his head. Madara smiled. And across the battlefield, Naruto felt the Blacklight Sharingan pulse in answer. Not with fear this time, with recognition. As if the void inside him had heard the Ten-Tail's call. As if something ancient beneath both powers had turned its gaze toward the same ending. Kurama's voice became low and dangerous. Kit, Naruto swallowed. Yeah, whatever that thing in your eyes is, the sky darkened. Obito's body vanished inside a pillar of monstrous chakra. Kurama finished, voice grim. It knows the Ten-Tails. The battlefield shook. The extraction ritual truly began. The pillar of chakra swallowed Obito whole. For one moment, the battlefield became nothing but light and pressure. Shinobi across the shattered plain dropped to their knees, hands pressed over their ears, teeth clenched against the scream tearing out of the ten-tails. The beast's roar was not just sound. It was weight. It pressed against skin, rattled bones, and made every chakra network on the battlefield tremble as if the body itself understood that something unnatural was happening. Naruto stood in front of Team 7, one arm hanging numb at his side, eyes burning black. The Blacklight Sharingan saw too much. It saw the ten-tails chakra twisting inward like a storm being forced through the eye of a needle. It saw Obito at the center of it, his body breaking and rebuilding beneath layers of monstrous power. It saw lines of connection, old and vast, stretching from the beast to the earth, from the earth to the sky, from the sky to something far beyond the battlefield. And somewhere behind all of it, it saw Madara watching, not helping, watching, waiting. Naruto's breath came hard. "Naruto," Sakura called, voice tight. "Your arm!" He tried to move the fingers of his right hand. They twitched once, then locked. Pain shot from his wrist to his shoulder like lightning under the skin. Naruto gritted his teeth and forced himself not to make a sound. Sasuke noticed anyway. "Black lightning backlash?" he asked. Naruto glanced at him. Sasuke was standing only because he refused to fall. Sakura's medical work had stopped the bleeding from his ruined left eye, but the injury still marked him. A dark band of blood and bandage crossed the left side of his face. His right eye remained sharp, but the world around him had changed. He kept his head angled slightly, compensating for the blind side, his broken sword held like both weapon and balance. Naruto tried to grin. "Maybe," Sasuke's expression flattened. "That means yes, could be worse. It will be if you pretend it isn't happening." Sakura stepped between them with the furious calm of someone one bad decision away from punching both of them. "Both of you need treatment." Naruto looked toward the pillar. "We don't have time." "We never have time," Sakura snapped. "That doesn't mean your bodies stopped being bodies." Kakashi arrived beside them, his visible eye fixed on the ritual. "Sakura is right." Naruto turned. "Kakashi-sensei, and you're right too," Kakashi said. That silenced him. Kakashi's voice lowered. "We can't retreat, but if you push that eye blindly, Madara won't need to defeat you. You'll destroy yourself first." Naruto swallowed. "Destroy yourself." The words landed too close to the thing he had felt inside the blacklight, that patient emptiness. That offer, remove the problem, even if the problem was pain, even if the problem was fear. Even if the problem was the piece of Naruto that still hesitated. The pillar of chakra cracked open. Obito stepped out. No one spoke. The man who emerged was not the masked shinobi who had declared war. He was not the broken boy Kakashi had once known. He was not fully human in shape anymore. Pale chakra wrapped his body like living armor. Black markings spread over his skin in patterns that seemed both natural and impossible. Behind him floated dark orbs, smooth and silent, bending the air around them. A horn-like extension curved from his head, and his eyes stared forward with the cold distance of someone standing far above the world he wanted to end. The ten-tails had vanished into him. The battlefield understood before any commander shouted it. Obito had become its Jinchuriki. Sakura took an involuntary step back. "That chakra," Kakashi's hand tightened around his kunai. "Obito!" Obito turned his head slightly. For a moment there was no recognition, then his gaze found Kakashi. Something flickered, only for an instant, then it disappeared under power. "Hatake Kakashi," Obito said. The voice was his and not his. Layered. Heavy, distant. Kakashi flinched as if the name had struck him. Naruto's eyes narrowed. He could feel Kurama inside him, fur bristling, tails coiled. "This is bad," Naruto said inwardly. Kurama gave a humorless growl. "That is one way to say it." "Can we beat him? You, right now?" "No." Naruto's jaw tightened. Kurama continued before Naruto could argue, "Not by overpowering him, not by throwing more chakra at him. That thing inside him is the origin of chakra as you understand it. If you try to match scale with scale, you will drown." Naruto stared at Obito's floating orbs. Then how? Kurama's voice became quieter. You have something that does not match scale. Naruto's blacklight eyes pulsed. The void inside them answered the Ten-Tail's presence with a cold, steady recognition. Naruto hated that it felt familiar. Obito lifted one hand. One of the dark orbs behind him stretched, reshaping into a long black staff. The motion was smooth, effortless. An allied shinobi unit charged from the left, dozens of fighters moving in formation. Earth walls rose. Lightning spears formed, wind blades spun. They attacked together, coordinated and brave. Obito looked at them. The black staff swept once. Every jutsu vanished, not exploded, not absorbed, undone. The staff struck the earth in front of them, and the shockwave hurled the shinobi backward like leaves in a storm. Some crashed into broken stone. Others rolled across the battlefield, armor cracked, weapons scattered. Naruto's stomach clenched. He moved before anyone could stop him. "Naruto?" Sakura shouted. He sprinted toward Obito, chakra cloak flaring, left arm ready while the right remained numb. Shadow clones burst around him in a wave, each carrying the same fierce expression. Obito turned, still moving forward. Naruto's clones spread out. "That's kind of my thing." The first clone came from above with a Rasengan. Obito's staff pierced through it. The clone vanished. A second and third attacked from both sides. Obito did not even turn his head. Two black orbs shot outward, flattening into shields that cut through the clones like paper. Naruto used the distraction to close the distance. His real body slid low, chakra tail whipping around for a strike aimed at Obito's legs. Obito vanished. No, not vanished. Moved faster than Naruto could follow normally. But the Blacklight Sharingan caught the afterimage of intent above. Naruto threw himself sideways as Obito dropped down, staff punching into the ground where he had been. The impact cracked the earth in a circle. Naruto rolled, planted one hand, and kicked upward. His heel struck Obito's forearm. It felt like kicking a mountain. Pain shot up Naruto's leg. Obito did not move. Obito looked down at him. "You cannot reach me with stubbornness." Naruto's eyes flashed. The void answered. A black crescent flickered around Naruto's heel. Obito's eyes narrowed. For the first time he moved back. Naruto landed awkwardly, breath catching as his leg trembled. The crescent disappeared before it could touch anything else. Madara watched from a distance, arms folded, expression unreadable. Sasuke saw it. He backed away, Sasuke said. Sakura looked at him. "From Naruto?" "From the eye." Kakashi's gaze sharpened. "Then it can threaten truth-seeking matter." Sasuke's mouth tightened. "Maybe, but Naruto can't control it well enough yet." Sakura looked toward Naruto's shaking leg, and every attempt costs him. Sasuke did not answer, because that was the part he hated. Obito lifted his staff again. Naruto forced himself upright. The right arm was still numb. The left leg now burned from the failed void crescent. His eyes pulsed with each heartbeat. But Obito had moved back. That mattered, even if only a little. Obito stared into Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan. "That eye is wrong," he said. Naruto spat blood to the side. "You're one to talk. You do not understand what you carry." "Do you?" Obito's expression shifted. Naruto stepped forward. "You're standing there with the Ten-Tails inside you, talking like you're above everyone, but I can see it." Obito's eyes narrowed. Naruto tapped two fingers near his own temple. "This eye sees connections. Yours are all tangled." For a second, Obito said nothing. Then the air around him darkened. "You see nothing." A black orb shot toward Naruto. It moved too fast. Sasuke's voice cut across the battlefield. "Down!" Naruto dropped without thinking. The orb passed over his head and curved back from behind. "Left!" Sasuke shouted. Naruto rolled left. The orb sliced through three boulders behind him, erasing their upper halves into dustless absence. Kakashi's eye flicked to Sasuke. "You're reading its path." Sasuke's jaw clenched. "Not the orb." "Naruto." Sakura looked confused for half a second, then she understood. Sasuke was not tracking Obito's attack with two eyes. He could not. His depth perception was damaged, his blind side dangerous, his body injured, so he watched Naruto's new eyes. He watched where the blacklight focused, where Naruto's shoulders tensed, where his breath caught before the void reacted. Sasuke was reading Naruto reading the battlefield. Kakashi felt a strange, painful pride. Sasuke had lost the eye that made him a prodigy. And somehow he was still turning sight itself into a weapon. "Naruto," Sasuke shouted, "stop dodging like you can see everything." Naruto narrowly avoided the orb again. "I can see a lot." "That's the problem." The orb came again. Naruto's eyes followed too many possible paths at once. For a moment he froze. Sasuke's voice snapped out. "Trust one." Naruto stopped trying to understand every line. He chose the nearest, right. He leaned right. The orb missed by inches. Naruto grinned despite himself. "Nice. Don't compliment me mid-fight." Obito appeared behind Naruto. This time, Sasuke did not shout fast enough. Obito's staff came down. Naruto twisted, raising his left forearm. The Blacklight Sharingan pulsed. For the first time, Naruto shaped it on purpose. Not a wild spark. Not a desperate crescent. A flat, thin plane of darkness opened before his arm. Void wall. The staff struck it. The world made no sound. That silence was more terrifying than thunder. The staff did not break. The wall did not hold cleanly. Instead, the point of contact vanished in tiny bites, black flakes peeling from Obito's weapon and disappearing into nothing. Obito's eyes widened. Naruto screamed. Pain stabbed through his forearm, up his shoulder, and into his chest. The void wall trembled, edges cracking like glass made from night. Obito pushed harder. Naruto's knees bent. The wall thinned. Kurama roared inside him. "Release it." Naruto gritted his teeth. "If I do, he hits me." "Then move." Naruto let the wall tilt. Obito's staff slid along its surface, losing another small layer to the void, and struck the ground beside Naruto instead of through him. Naruto threw himself backward as the wall shattered. He landed on one knee, clutching his left arm now. Both arms hurt. Great. Sakura saw the way his chakra flickered and swore under her breath. "He's burning life force every time." Kakashi's face darkened. "How many times can he do that?" Sakura did not look away from Naruto. "Not many." Madara heard them. His gaze sharpened further. "So it had a limit. Good." Naruto stood slowly. His left forearm shook. The skin beneath his sleeve felt cold, then hot, then numb. He could still move it, but every motion came with deep ache. Obito examined his shortened staff. The erased portion did not regenerate immediately. "Void." Obito said quietly. Naruto blinked through the pain. "What?" "That is what it is." Obito's gaze lifted. "Not darkness, not chakra absorption, void." Naruto's blacklight eyes narrowed. The name settled inside him unpleasantly. Void. It felt too correct. Madara's voice drifted across the battlefield. "An eye that gives shape to negation. Rinnegan commands forces, Sharingan records and controls perception. This one removes." Naruto glared at him. "You sound excited." "I am." Madara's honesty was worse than mockery. He looked at Naruto like an ancient door had opened and he intended to walk through it. Obito's attention snapped toward Madara for half a second. There it was again. The crack. Naruto saw it through the blacklight. Obito's connection to Madara was not trust. It was a chain made of necessity and resentment. Madara's connection to Obito was worse. Ownership. Naruto forced his shaking hands into fists. "Obito!" Obito looked back at him. Naruto stepped forward, though every muscle told him not to. "You think this is your choice, but Madara's already planning to take it from you." Obito's face hardened. "Enough!" "No, you need to hear it." "I said enough." Obito raised his hand. The ground beneath Naruto erupted. Black chakra rods burst upward, trying to impale and pin him. Naruto jumped back, but his numb leg responded late. One rod grazed his side, tearing through his cloak and drawing blood. Sakura shouted his name. Naruto landed hard, one hand pressed to the wound. Obito floated forward. "You cling to this world because you fear losing what little it gave you." He said, "I am offering an end to loss." Naruto looked up, breathing hard. "No," he said, "you're offering a dream where nobody gets to choose anything." Obito's expression flickered. Naruto saw it, not victory, pain. He pressed on. "I get it. I get wanting the pain to stop." I get wanting people back. I get being so tired you think maybe it'd be easier if the whole world just shut up for once. Sasuke's eye moved toward him. Sakura's expression softened. Kakashi looked down for a moment. Naruto's voice steadied. But if you erase pain by erasing people's choices, then you didn't save anyone. You just buried them while they were still breathing. Obito's chakra flared violently. The truth had landed somewhere that made him angrier. You know nothing of what I lost. Naruto's blacklight eyes burned. I know what it's like to be alone. Obito moved. This time he was faster. Naruto barely lifted his arm before Obito's staff struck him in the chest. The chakra cloak absorbed part of it, but the force still launched him backward. Sasuke moved despite Sakura's grip. He vanished in a body flicker, appearing along Naruto's path just long enough to angle his broken sword into the ground. Naruto crashed against him, and both of them skidded backward together. Sasuke's knees nearly gave out. Naruto caught him this time. "You idiot!" Naruto said. "You're injured?" Sasuke's mouth twisted. "So are you." "That's different." "It never is with you." Before Naruto could answer, Obito attacked again. Kakashi intercepted with lightning. His kunai met Obito's staff, and the shock of the collision drove Kakashi to one knee. Sakura came from the side with a chakra-enhanced punch, forcing Obito to raise one orb as a shield. The impact cracked the ground beneath them but did not break through. Still, it bought 1 second. 1 second was all Sasuke needed. "Naruto," he said. Naruto looked at him. "Stop trying to erase the enemy." Naruto blinked. "What?" "Erase the attack, the connection, the path, not the person." Naruto's breathing slowed. Sasuke's right eye burned with focus. "If you aim at Obito, the void pulls too much. It wants everything. That's why it costs you more. So aim smaller." Naruto stared. Sasuke's voice became sharper. "You're bad at precision. Fix that." Naruto almost laughed. Only Sasuke could give life-saving advice and make it sound like an insult. "Yeah," Naruto said. "Okay." He stepped forward. Kurama stirred. "He is right." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "You couldn't have said that. You listen better when he insults you." Naruto did laugh that time, small, pained, real. Obito knocked Kakashi aside and turned as Naruto approached again. "You still stand." Naruto rolled his shoulders. "Yeah, you are broken. Been that way for years." Obito's staff shifted. Naruto raised his left hand but did not form a wall. He watched, not all the lines, one line, the path of the staff. Obito struck. Naruto stepped inside the swing. His palm glowed black, erasing strike. Not a punch, not exactly. He touched the edge of the staff with his palm and twisted his body aside at the same time. The void focused into a tiny point, smaller than a coin, controlled by will and terror in equal measure. A notch vanished from Obito's weapon. Naruto's palm burned cold. He hissed in pain but stayed moving. His knee came up, wrapped in a flicker of blacklight. It struck the lower part of Obito's staff, erasing another thin section. The weapon bent. Obito's eyes widened. Naruto grinned through blood. Smaller. Sasuke's mouth moved faintly. Finally. Obito's orb shifted into a new shape, replacing the damaged staff with a broader blade. Naruto's grin faded. "Oh, come on!" The blade swept toward him. This time, Naruto did not try to block it. He ducked, letting the Blacklight Sharingan track only the closest edge. His hand shot out, brushing the flat of the blade with an erasing strike. A small crescent disappeared. Pain flashed through his fingers, but the blade's balance shifted. Kakashi saw the opening. "Now!" Sakura came in like a meteor. Her fist struck the ground beneath Obito, not him. The battlefield exploded upward, throwing broken stone and dust into the air. Obito floated above the worst of it, but his attention shifted for one crucial instant. Sasuke moved. He could not rely on perfect sight anymore. So he used sound, chakra pressure, and Naruto's position. His broken sword flashed toward Obito's blind angle. Obito turned, faster than he should have been able to. Sasuke expected that. He was not attacking to hit. He was attacking to make Obito move. Naruto was already there. A Rasengan formed in his left hand. Then the Blacklight Sharingan pulsed. The Rasengan darkened, not fully, not smoothly, Black rings twisted through the spinning chakra, unstable and jagged. Violet-white sparks crawled across its surface. The sound changed from a high whirling shriek to something deeper, as if the air around it was being ground away. Void Rasengan. Kurama roared inside him. Too soon, Naruto drove forward anyway. Obito raised an orb shield. The Void Rasengan struck. For one impossible second, everything stopped. The Rasengan's spinning force tried to grind. The Void tried to erase. The truth-seeking shield resisted, dense with power beyond normal chakra nature. Then the shield began to thin, not break, thin. Layers vanished from the point of contact, disappearing in smooth black spirals. Obito's eyes widened. Naruto screamed as the backlash hit. His left arm went numb from fingertip to shoulder. Blood burst from his nose. The blacklight rings in his eyes flickered violently. The Void Rasengan destabilized. Sasuke saw it. Naruto, release. Naruto tried. The technique did not let go. It kept spinning, feeding on chakra, then deeper than chakra, life force. Sakura's face went white. Naruto, Kurama surged. The Great Fox's chakra wrapped around the technique from inside Naruto's system, not fueling it, but tearing it away before it consumed more. The Void Rasengan collapsed into a burst of black sparks. The explosion threw Naruto backward. Sasuke caught him badly. Both crashed into the ground. Sakura reached them seconds later, hands glowing. Naruto, Naruto, look at me! Naruto's eyes were open but unfocused. His breathing came shallow. For a terrifying moment, Sakura could not feel a steady pulse through the chaos of his chakra. Then he coughed. Did, Naruto rasped. Did it work? Sakura looked ready to cry and kill him at the same time. You nearly died, Naruto blinked slowly. So, kinda. Sasuke, lying beside him and staring at the sky with exhausted disbelief, said, worst possible answer. Kakashi landed in front of them, guarding, though his own arm shook. Obito remained floating where the clash had happened. His shield had a hole in it, a small one, but real. The dark orb reformed slowly, slower than before. Madara's expression changed completely. The amusement vanished. The curiosity sharpened into hunger. He had watched the Void Rasengan thin, truth-seeking matter. He had watched Naruto's eye erase not by overpowering, but by denying the structure of what it touched. The boy could not sustain it yet. The backlash nearly killed him. The technique was crude, unstable, wasteful, but potential did not need to be polished to be terrifying. Madara knew power. He had spent lifetimes pursuing it, understanding it, taking it, evolving it. And now, for the first time in longer than he cared to remember, he was looking at something that had not been part of his plan, something outside the known path, something he did not possess. Obito noticed Madara's stare. For a brief moment, Ten-Tail's power and human resentment flickered together in his eyes. You're distracted, Obito said. Madara's gaze did not leave Naruto. Yes. Obito's face hardened. Naruto forced himself to sit up, Sakura's hand on his shoulder. Don't, she warned. He did not stand yet. Mostly because his legs were still deciding whether they belonged to him. Kurama's voice rumbled low in his mind. You use too much. Naruto swallowed. I know, no, you do not. That technique did not drain your chakra first. It pulled straight from your vitality once it destabilized. Use it again like that, and you may not wake up. Naruto looked at his left hand. He could not feel it, but it worked. Kurama snarled. That is the kind of thought that gets you killed. Naruto's gaze shifted to Obito's reformed shield. It made him back off, for now. Sasuke pushed himself upright beside him. Your Rasengan collapsed because you tried to make the void spin with the chakra instead of containing it. Naruto stared at him. You got all that while being thrown around? Sasuke ignored the question. The Rasengan rotates outward. The void pulls inward. They fought each other. Naruto blinked. Sakura looked between them. That actually makes sense. Kakashi's eye sharpened. So he needs a boundary. Sasuke nodded once. A shell, Rasengan outside, void inside, lightning later maybe if his arms still work. Naruto stared at Sasuke. What? Sasuke asked. Naruto smiled faintly. You're still amazing. Sasuke looked away. Don't get sentimental, I mean it. I know, that's worse. Sakura gave a tiny, exhausted laugh. Then Obito raised both hands. The battlefield rose with him. Not literally, but it felt that way. Chunks of stone lifted into the air. Black orbs expanded and reshaped into spears. The Ten-Tails chakra inside Obito flared, unstable but massive, flooding the battlefield with pressure. "This conversation is over," Obito said. The spears launched. Dozens, hundreds. They screamed across the battlefield toward the Allied forces, toward Team 7, toward anyone still standing. Naruto tried to rise. His knees failed. Sakura caught him. "No!" Naruto's eyes widened as the spears descended. Kakashi formed signs, knowing it would not be enough. Sasuke's Susanoo flickered around them, incomplete, weakened by blood loss and imbalance. Then thousands of chakra arms surged from behind, Naruto's clones, not new ones, old ones. The clones he had scattered earlier across the battlefield, still connected to Kurama's chakra, still standing with shinobi units he had been protecting before everything changed. They moved together. Each clone grabbed wounded shinobi, pulled them behind cover, threw them out of impact zones. Others formed Rasengan wind-style bursts, earth barriers copied from allied shinobi coordination. They could not stop the truth-seeking spears directly, but they could move people, save people. Obito's attack struck the battlefield. Explosions of silence followed. Where the spears landed, stone vanished. Barriers disappeared. The earth opened in clean wounds, but fewer shinobi died than should have, far fewer. Madara observed Naruto was barely able to stand. His new eye was unstable. His signature technique nearly killed him. And still, his first instinct under impossible pressure was not conquest, it was rescue. Madara's lip curled faintly. Ashura, always Ashura. Obito saw it too, and something like anger crossed his face. "You keep dragging them back into suffering." Naruto forced himself upright with Sakura's help. "No," he said. "I keep giving them tomorrow." The words carried farther than they should have, maybe because the battlefield had gone quiet again, maybe because every surviving shinobi needed to hear them. Obito stared at him, then he looked away, only for a second, but Kakashi saw it. "Obito?" Madara moved. It was subtle, a step, a shift, a line of intent tightening like a blade behind Obito's back. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan caught it clearly this time. Madara was done waiting. Obito had become powerful. Obito had become unstable. Now Madara wanted the Ten-Tails. Naruto shouted, "Obito, behind you!" Obito turned halfway. Too late. Madara's attack struck not Obito's body, but the chakra connections around him. Black receivers erupted from the earth, piercing into the ritual pattern still lingering beneath Obito's transformation. Madara's Rinnegan flared. Obito's eyes widened. "What are you?" "Correcting the plan," Madara said. The battlefield shook as Madara's chakra latched onto the Ten-Tails' power inside Obito. Not enough to take it yet, but enough to begin pulling at the seams. Obito snarled, Ten-Tails' chakra flaring violently around him. "You would betray me now." Madara's voice was calm. "Do not be childish. You were always a vessel." Kakashi's face twisted with pain. Naruto's fists clenched. Sasuke's eye narrowed. "There it is." Sakura looked between Madara and Obito. "They're turning on each other." "No," Sasuke said. "Madara is making his move." Madara's gaze shifted from Obito to Naruto. The hunger in it was unmistakable now. "Plans change," Madara said. "The Ten-Tails remains necessary. The infinite Tsukuyomi remains inevitable." His Rinnegan fixed on Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan. "But that eye." Naruto felt cold despite the chakra cloak. Madara smiled. "That eye was not part of history, which means history has offered me one final prize." Naruto stepped forward, despite Sakura's hand trying to hold him back. "You can't take it." Madara's smile widened. "I have taken eyes from corpses, brothers, enemies, and God's descendants. Do not assume yours is special because it has a name." Sasuke's voice came from beside Naruto, quiet and sharp. "It is special." Madara glanced at him. Sasuke stood straighter, broken sword in hand, one eye blazing. Because it isn't his by blood, it isn't a transplant, it isn't an inheritance you can steal from a socket. Naruto looked at him. Sasuke did not look back. It happened because he refused to let me die. For a moment, even Madara was silent, then his expression darkened. Obito tore one of Madara's receivers free with a snarl, chakra exploding around him. The sky twisted again as Ten-Tail's power raged between two masters. Madara turned back toward him, irritated now. Then I will take the beast first. His Susanoo flared around him, massive and terrible blue armor rising like a war god behind the battlefield's smoke. Obito's truth-seeking orbs spread into a ring. Between them, the earth cracked. Naruto felt the Blacklight Sharingan pulse violently. Too much power. Too many connections. Too many things about to break. Kakashi stepped beside him. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. They all looked toward him. Kakashi's eye held the weight of everything he did not say. They were injured, outmatched. The enemy had become something beyond normal shinobi. And Madara had just set his sights directly on Naruto's eyes. Still, Team 7 stood. Naruto rolled his shoulders, ignoring the numbness in both arms. Sakura tightened her gloves. Sasuke lifted his broken sword. Kakashi raised his kunai. Ahead of them, Madara's Susanoo took one step toward Obito, and the battlefield trembled beneath it. Madara's voice carried through the storm. Then it is decided. His Rinnegan shifted toward Naruto one last time. I'll be taking that eye, Uzumaki. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan burned in answer. The void inside him whispered without words, erase. Naruto clenched his fists. No, he whispered, not erase, protect. Then he charged into the storm. Naruto charged into the storm, knowing he should not be standing. His arms still trembled from the failed Void Rasengan. His right hand barely closed. His left shoulder felt like someone had poured ice through the nerves and then lit them on fire. Every blink sent needles of pain behind his Blacklight Sharingan, and every pulse of those strange black rings pulled at something deeper than chakra, life force. Kurama had said it clearly. Naruto had heard him clearly, and Naruto still ran. Because ahead of him, the battlefield was splitting in two. Obito, wrapped in the wild power of the Ten-Tails, fought like a man trying to hold a collapsing mountain inside his own chest. Truth-seeking orbs spun around him, reshaping into shields, blades, and spears as fast as thought. His pale chakra flared violently, unstable but enormous. Madara stood across from him beneath the towering blue ribs of Susanoo, black receivers buried in the ritual pattern beneath Obito's feet. His Rinnegan glowed with cold command. Unlike Obito, Madara did not look overwhelmed by the Ten-Tails' presence. He looked impatient. The two powers crashed. Obito's orb blade carved through Susanoo's outer arm. Madara responded with gravity, smashing Obito downward hard enough to crack the battlefield. Obito recovered instantly, floating above the crater with a snarl, but the black receivers beneath him pulsed again. Chakra chains erupted from the ground, not normal sealing chains. These were dark, thin, and sharp, formed from Madara's Rinnegan control, and the remains of the ritual Obito had used to become the Ten-Tails' Jinchuriki. They wrapped around Obito's limbs, throat, and torso, digging into the pale chakra armor around him. Obito's eyes widened. Madara lifted one hand. Return what was never yours. The chains tightened. Obito screamed, not from pain alone, from the feeling of something inside him being pulled open. The Ten-Tails' chakra surged out of him in violent red-black waves, twisting toward Madara like a storm finding a new sky. Obito tried to resist, forcing the truth-seeking orbs to cut the chains, but every time one chain broke, two more rose from the ritual markings beneath him. Kakashi staggered forward. Obito? Sakura grabbed his arm. Kakashi-sensei, don't! Kakashi's visible eye was locked on Obito, grief and horror warring behind it. He'll die. Sasuke, pale and unsteady beside her, said quietly, Madara doesn't care. Naruto saw the entire thing through the Blacklight Sharingan. The Ten-Tails was not simply being stolen like chakra from one body to another. It was being threaded through connections. Obito's seal, the ritual circle, Madara's receivers, the ancient husk buried beneath everything. It was like watching someone pull a beating heart out through a web of black strings. Naruto's stomach turned. He hated Obito. He pitied Obito. He wanted to hit him. He wanted to save him. All of it twisted together, messy and human, and the blacklight inside Naruto stirred at the confusion. Erase the chains. Naruto almost obeyed. Then Sasuke's voice cut through his mind like a blade. Aim smaller, Naruto forced his breathing steady, not Obito, not Madara, not the Ten-Tails, the chain. One chain, Naruto shot forward, Kurama's chakra cloak flaring around him. Madara's gaze shifted instantly. Still rushing in, Naruto bared his teeth. Still talking! A truth-seeking spear, caught in the chaos between Obito and Madara, spun toward Naruto's path. Sasuke shouted, "Lo!" Naruto dropped under it. Left. He twisted left as another black rod burst from the ground. "Jump!" Naruto jumped. Sasuke stood behind him, one eye fixed, broken sword planted in the earth, reading the fight through Naruto's movement and Madara's timing. His depth perception was unreliable now. The world on his left side was a dead zone, but he did not need perfect sight to read intent. He knew Naruto. He knew Madara's arrogance. He knew how power moved when someone believed they had already won. Naruto reached the nearest chain binding Obito's shoulder. He lifted his palm. Blacklight gathered into a small point, erasing strike. His fingers touched the chain. A section vanished. Obito jerked free on one side, gasping as Ten-Tail's chakra flared back toward him. Naruto's palm went numb. He hissed and pulled back. Madara's eyes narrowed. "You interfere in your own enemy's punishment." Naruto landed between the two monsters, breathing hard. "I don't let people get used like tools." Obito stared at him, one shoulder freed, face twisted with disbelief. "You would save me." Naruto looked back at him. "I didn't say that." His eyes hardened. "I said he doesn't get to decide what happens to you." For a second, something almost human flickered in Obito's expression. Then Madara moved. A limbo shadow struck Naruto from the side. Naruto saw the absence bend too late. The blow crashed into his ribs and launched him across the ground. He rolled hard, cloak flickering, and barely pushed himself up before a second invisible strike came down, void wall. The black plane appeared above his shoulder, thinner than before but faster. The limbo strike hit it. Naruto did not try to erase the whole blow. He focused on the point of contact, shaving away just enough force to keep his bones from breaking. The impact still drove him to one knee. Blood ran from his nose again. Madara's expression sharpened, learning under pressure. "Good." Naruto's blacklight eyes burned brighter. "Stop calling it good." Madara lifted his hand. The chains around Obito all pulsed at once. This time, Madara did not pull slowly, he tore. Obito's body arched backward, Ten-Tail's chakra ripping out of him in a massive spiral. His truth-seeking orbs flickered and collapsed, some dissolving into unstable black mist. The pale markings on his skin cracked like drying paint. Kakashi shouted and ran forward. Sakura followed because she knew Kakashi would not stop. Sasuke tried to move too, but his legs betrayed him for half a second. He nearly stumbled. Naruto saw, Madara saw Naruto see, and Madara attacked the opening. A black receiver shot toward Sasuke. Naruto's body moved before thought, not fast enough. Sasuke saw the rod coming but misjudged the distance by inches because of his missing eye. That single mistake would have put the rod through his shoulder. Sakura reached him first. Her fist smashed the rod aside with a burst of chakra, but the impact sent numbing pain through her arm. "Sasuke-kun?" "I saw it," Sasuke snapped. "No, you didn't." His jaw tightened. Naruto's chest clenched. The blacklight pulsed, erased the threat. All threats, Madara, the rods, the battlefield, everything hurting them. Naruto's vision darkened at the edges. Kurama's voice thundered inside him, "Anchor?" Naruto sucked in a breath. Sasuke was standing. Sakura was beside him. Kakashi was still running toward Obito. They were alive, alive, alive. Naruto forced the void back. Madara watched this internal struggle with fascinated patience. You are resisting your own evolution." Naruto looked up. "If evolution means becoming like you, I'll pass." Madara smiled. "I was once accused of lacking imagination. Perhaps that was fair. I believed the Rinnegan was the final answer, the eye of the sage, the peak of Indra's line, the proof that power pursued to its end becomes divine." The Ten-Tails chakra spiraled around him now, drawn from Obaido in thick waves. Madara's armor cracked apart under the pressure, then reformed in pale layers of chakra. Black markings began crawling across his skin. The ground under his feet sank, his voice lowered. "But you have shown me something beyond the old path." Naruto's stomach dropped. Madara turned his Rinnegan toward the sky. "No matter, I will take the beast first." Obaido collapsed to one knee. The remaining Ten-Tails chakra tore free. It surged into Madara. The battlefield exploded, not with fire, with pressure. Every shinobi within sight was thrown backward. Boulders lifted. Dust blasted outward in a ring. The air screamed as if too much power had been forced into too small a body. Naruto dug chakra tails into the earth, wrapping one around Sakura and Sasuke, another around Kakashi before he could be blown away. His arms nearly gave out from the strain, but he held them. Madara stood at the center of the storm. His body changed. Pale chakra covered him like sacred armor. Black markings spread across his chest and arms. Truth-seeking orbs formed behind him one by one, silent and perfect. A horn-like shape rose from his brow. His hair lifted in the chakra wind, white and wild at the edges. His Rinnegan glowed with terrible calm. The Ten-Tails roar vanished. Because it was inside him now. Uchiha Madara had become its Jinchuriki. The battlefield went still. Obaido fell from the air and struck the ground hard, stripped of the beast, barely conscious. Kakashi broke free from Naruto's chakra tail and rushed to him. Madara did not stop him. He was looking at his own hand, flexing it, feeling the world from a higher place. Then he smiled. "So this is the shape of a god." Naruto stood slowly. His body screamed in protest. Sakura looked at him with open fear now, not of him, but for him. "Naruto," she whispered. He heard her. He could not answer. Madara's chakra filled everything. Against Obaido, the blacklight had felt like a dangerous answer. Against Madara now, it felt like a candle held in front of an eclipse. Kurama's voice was grim. He stabilized faster than Obaido. Naruto swallowed. "Can we still fight? We can fight." That was not the same as yes. Madara lifted one hand. A truth-seeking orb stretched into a blade. "Come then," he said. "Show me whether your new eye is a miracle or merely an accident." Naruto charged. This time he did not go alone. Sasuke moved on Naruto's right, where his sight remained strongest. Sakura came behind them, fists glowing with stored chakra. Kakashi returned from Obaido's side long enough to form hand signs, his visible eye grim. Team 7 attacked together. Naruto opened with clones, not to overwhelm Madara, but to limit angles. Dozens spread outward, each one avoiding direct contact with the truth-seeking orbs, each one forcing Madara to choose targets. Sasuke used the clones as moving landmarks. Without his left eye, distance betrayed him. So he built a new map from Naruto. Clone at 10 steps. Dust burst at 15. Madara's left shoulder turning before the orb moved. Kakashi's lightning from the rear. Sakura's footfall behind him. He adjusted, he adapted. He did not need a new divine eye, he needed to remain useful. Madara's orb blade swept through 5 clones at once. Sakura came in under the swing and punched the ground, not Madara. The earth erupted beneath him, throwing his balance off by a fraction. Kakashi's lightning cable wrapped around one truth-seeking orb and yanked it aside for less than a second before the chakra ate through the technique. 1 second. Naruto used it. He struck with a racing strike, palm aimed at the thin connection between Madara's orb and his control. Madara's Rinnegan shifted. He saw the target. He moved the orb away. But Sasuke was already there. His broken sword, charged with lightning, struck the ground at Madara's feet, not to cut him but to force his step. Madara shifted exactly where Sasuke predicted. Naruto's palm touched the control thread. A tiny spark of blacklight snapped. The orb flickered, only for a heartbeat, but it flickered. Madara's eyes narrowed. Sasuke saw the opening and shouted, "Now!" Naruto's chakra cloak flared. A giant Kurama arm swept forward, slamming into Madara's side. Madara slid back one step. The allied forces saw it. A murmur moved through them. Madara looked down at the mark where Naruto's chakra had struck his armor, then he laughed. "Excellent!" He vanished. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan caught 5 possible paths. Sasuke shouted, "Ignore the left 2." Naruto obeyed instantly. Madara appeared from the right. Naruto raised Void Wall. Madara's truth-seeking blade struck it. This time, Naruto shaped the wall differently, not flat, layered. Thin sheets of void stacked together with chakra between them, each one erasing a fraction instead of trying to swallow the whole strike. Void Wall. Absolute. The blade pressed in. The first layer vanished, then the second, then the third. Naruto screamed through clenched teeth as life force tore out of him with each layer. But the wall did not collapse immediately. It thinned the attack, shaving away the edge, slowing the blade just enough. Sakura appeared beside Naruto and punched Madara's wrist. The impact did not break his arm, but it shifted the blade away. Sasuke moved through the opening and slashed across Madara's chest with the broken sword. The blade sparked against pale chakra armor and snapped completely. Sasuke was left holding only the hilt. Madara looked down at him. "Still fighting with broken things?" Sasuke met his gaze, still winning time. Naruto drove a Rasengan into Madara's side, not Void Rasengan, normal, controlled, safe. It exploded against Madara's armor, forcing him half a step back. Madara's expression hardened. A gravity pulse erupted from him. Team 7 scattered. Kakashi crashed into a ridge. Sakura dug her fingers into the ground and stopped herself before she flew too far. Sasuke rolled badly, blind side catching on uneven stone, and hit his shoulder hard. Naruto took the worst of it, thrown across the battlefield and into a crater. He coughed, breath gone. The Blacklight Sharingan flickered. For one strange second, he could not remember where he was, not fully. There was dust. There was pain. There was a voice calling his name. A girl's voice, Sakura. The name came slowly, too slowly. Naruto pushed himself up, fear sliding through him. "Kurama," the fox answered immediately. "I am here." Naruto swallowed. "I forgot where I was." Kurama went silent. That silence said enough. Naruto looked at Madara. The void inside him stirred again. It offered peace, not victory, peace. No more battlefield, no more remembering pain, no more names to lose, just remove what hurt. Naruto's hands shook. Madara floated above the ground now, truth-seeking orbs arranged behind him like a dark halo. "You feel it," Madara said. "The burden of holding power without surrendering to its nature." Naruto forced himself upright. "Don't pretend you understand me. I understand power better than anyone alive. That's the problem." Madara's eyes narrowed. Naruto wiped blood from his nose with the back of his hand. "You understand power. You don't understand people." For the first time, Madara's expression chilled. He raised both hands. The truth-seeking orbs behind him spread outward. They reshaped into long black stakes, not aimed at Team 7, aimed at the allied forces. Hundreds of exhausted shinobi were still trying to regroup. Medics dragged wounded behind broken walls. Sensor Nin called warnings. Earth-style users lifted barriers, but they were tired, too far apart and completely exposed. Naruto's eyes widened. Madara spoke calmly. "Then protect them." The stakes launched. The battlefield screamed. Naruto moved. Kakashi shouted something. Sakura too. Sasuke's voice cut through all of it. "Naruto, don't take the whole attack." But Naruto was already running. The Blacklight Sharingan saw every stake, every path, every person who would die. Too many. Too much. His mind nearly split trying to follow them all. He could not erase them all. He could not block them all. He could not save everyone. The void whispered. "Then remove the battlefield." Naruto stumbled. "No, not that." His breath hitched. "Think smaller." Sasuke's voice again. "Aim smaller." Naruto stopped in the center of the attack's path. Kurama's chakra erupted around him, forming a massive cloak with multiple tails spreading wide. Shadow clones appeared in a ring. Each clone held a fraction of Kurama's chakra. Each one raised a hand. Naruto lifted both arms despite the numbness. Black lightning crawled over them, not ordinary lightning. This was the next shape the blacklight gave him. It did not crackle loudly. It hissed like torn paper. Thin black bolts edged in violet-white light jumped between Naruto and his clones, linking them into a web. Kurama growled. "What are you doing?" Naruto's eyes narrowed. Not erasing the stakes. The first truth-seeking stake reached the web. Naruto thrust his hand forward. Black lightning. Severance. The black lightning struck the chakra control line attached to the stake, not the stake itself. The connection. The stake wobbled midair. Its shape distorted, controls scrambled for a fraction of a second, and it crashed into the ground short of its target. Naruto's entire right arm went numb to the shoulder. He screamed but kept going. Another bolt. Another severed control line. Another stake veered off course. The clones mirrored him, black lightning leaping between them in chained bursts. They could not destroy Madara's attack. They could not overpower Six Paths chakra, but they could disrupt formation. They could scramble the pathways. They could make perfect death imperfect. Stakes crashed into empty ground, some clipped barriers instead of bodies. Others thinned as void wall fragments formed in their path, not stopping them fully but shaving away enough force to spare the shinobi behind. Across the battlefield, the allied forces watched black lightning split the sky. Sakura stared in horror. He's channeling through both arms. Sasuke's eye widened. "Naruto, stop!" Naruto did not hear him, or maybe he did and could not afford to listen. A stake broke through the web toward a group of medics. Naruto saw a child-faced shinobi freeze behind them, no older than he had been on his first real mission. The blacklight flared. Naruto stretched his hand farther. Severance struck the stake's control thread. The stake veered. It missed. Naruto's left arm locked, then his right. Both hung uselessly at his sides. But one final cluster of stakes remained, plunging toward the center of the allied line. Naruto could not move his arms, so he used his eyes. Void wall. Absolute opened above the shinobi forces. Huge, too huge. A layered black barrier spread across the sky like an eclipse, violet-white edges trembling, black rings rippling through its surface. The remaining stakes struck it. One layer vanished, then another, then another. Naruto felt each layer tear something out of him, not chakra, warmth, memory. The taste of ramen after a lonely day. Uruka's hand on his head, Jiraiya laughing too loudly, Hinata's quiet faith, Sakura yelling at him. Kakashi's bell test, Sasuke turning back at the Valley of the End. The memories did not disappear, not yet. But they blurred at the edges, like ink touched by water. Naruto screamed. The wall held. The stakes thinned, cracked, and fell as harmless black dust that vanished before touching the ground. The allied forces survived. The void wall shattered. Naruto fell from the air. Sakura moved first. She crossed the battlefield in a blur and caught him before he hit the ground, sliding back under his weight. "Naruto?" His eyes were open, still black, too black. The rings spun slowly, and for one terrible second, Sakura could not see Naruto behind them. His face was blank, not calm, empty. "Naruto," she said again, voice breaking. "Hey, look at me!" He looked at her, no recognition. Sakura froze, then his brow twitched. "Sakura-chan," she let out a shaky breath. "Yes, yes, it's me." Naruto blinked, his eyes flickered. Blue tried to show beneath black and failed. "Why are you crying?" Sakura laughed once, painfully. "Because you're stupid." Naruto gave the faintest smile. "Yeah," then his gaze drifted past her. Sasuke was limping toward them, one hand pressed to his side, broken sword hilt still clenched uselessly in his fist. Naruto stared at him. For half a second his expression went blank again. Sasuke stopped. "Naruto." The blacklight rings turned. Naruto's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Sasuke's face went still. Sakura looked between them, fear returning. "Naruto!" Naruto's breathing quickened. The name was there. He knew it was there. Black hair, sharp voice, annoying face, best friend, rival, brother, the one he chased, the one who came back. The one who gave the left eye blood, his fault, not his fault, a choice. Naruto clutched his head with hands that barely moved. The void whispered, "Name's hurt, let them go." Naruto staggered back from Sakura. No, Sasuke's eye widened slightly. Naruto's blacklight flared outward. A void flicker snapped across the ground between them, carving a thin line of absence into the earth. Sakura froze. Sasuke did not move. Naruto stared at the line, horrified. "I didn't—" Madara descended in the distance, untouched, watching with cold satisfaction. "There it is," he said. "The true cost." Kakashi arrived beside Sakura, battered but standing. His gaze moved from the void scar to Naruto's face. "Naruto, listen to me." Naruto shook his head, backing away. "Don't come closer." Sakura reached out. "Naruto, don't!" The shout cracked through the battlefield. Black lightning crawled over Naruto's eyes, wilder now, licking into the air around his face. His chakra cloak flickered, orange swallowed in places by black. Sasuke stepped forward anyway. Sakura grabbed his sleeve. "Sasuke-kun, wait!" He pulled free. "He won't hurt me." Naruto looked at him with panic. "You don't know that!" Sasuke stopped just beyond the void scar. His face was pale. His left eye was bandaged and gone. His right eye held Naruto in place. "You remembered me once," Sasuke said. Naruto's lips trembled. The name came back in a rush. Sasuke. Sasuke's shoulders eased by the smallest amount. "Good." Naruto swallowed hard. "I almost forgot." "I know. I almost erased." "You didn't." "But I could." Sasuke's voice sharpened. "Then don't." It was such a Sasuke answer that Naruto almost laughed. Almost. Madara's truth-seeking orbs shifted behind him. The human moment ended. "You have reached the edge of your vessel," Madara said, "and still you cling to weakness." Naruto turned toward him slowly. His eyes burned black. But his voice, when it came, was still his. "My bonds aren't weakness." Madara lifted one hand. "No," he said. "They are the last chain keeping that eye from becoming what it should be." Naruto's body shook. Sasuke stepped beside him, Sakura on his other side, Kakashi behind them. Team 7 formed around Naruto without touching him, close enough to anchor, far enough to avoid another void flicker. Madara watched them, and for the first time, his expression held something like irritation. Not because they were stronger, because they kept refusing to become simple. Naruto breathed in Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, Kurama. The names hurt, the names anchored. He held them tight. Madara's chakra rose again, terrible and divine, filling the battlefield with the pressure of the Ten-Tails. Naruto raised his head. Both arms were numb. His life force was bleeding into his eyes. His memories trembled at the edges. And the real battle had only just begun. Inside him, the void opened wider, not attacking, waiting, listening, offering. Naruto felt it reach toward the blurred edges of his heart. And this time, when it whispered, the voice almost sounded like his own. Naruto heard his own name like it was coming from underwater. "Naruto?" Sakura's voice, close. Terrified, he tried to answer, but his mouth did not move. The battlefield tilted. Madara stood ahead of him, pale and terrible beneath the black sky, truth-seeking orbs floating behind him like pieces of a dead moon. The Ten-Tails chakra rolled off him in waves, so heavy the earth cracked beneath his feet. Around Naruto, Team 7 stood in a loose circle, close enough to protect him, far enough that another wild void flicker would not cut through them by accident. Sasuke was on his right, Sakura on his left, Kakashi behind, Kurama inside. Names, Naruto clung to them. Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, Kurama, Iruka-sensei, Hinata, Tsunade Bachin, Jiraiya. The names glowed in his mind like lanterns in a storm. Then one of them flickered. Naruto's heart stopped. It was not gone, not fully, but for one cold second he could not remember the sound of Jiraiya's laugh. He remembered the man. White hair, huge scroll, sandals, perverted grin, annoying jokes, warmth. But the laugh itself blurred at the edges. Naruto took one stumbling step back. No. The Blacklight Sharingan burned in his skull. The void inside him did not roar. It did not demand. It did not laugh like a demon or whisper like an enemy. It simply opened. Madara's voice came from far away. "You are collapsing." Naruto tried to glare at him, but the world stretched. Madara's form bent into black rings and pale light. The battlefield became distant. Sakura shouted again. Sasuke reached toward him. Kakashi moved. Naruto saw Sasuke's hand coming. He wanted to grab it. His own hands would not lift. The black rings in his eyes spun once. The world vanished. Naruto fell inward. He landed on nothing. There was no impact, only the sudden understanding that the battlefield was gone. The ground beneath his feet was black and smooth like still water, but when he looked down, there was no reflection. Above him, endless darkness stretched in all directions, broken only by slow ripples of violet-white light spreading outward in perfect rings. It was the same place he had glimpsed when the Blacklight Sharingan first awakened, but it was larger now, or maybe Naruto was smaller. He stood alone in the center of the rings, breathing hard. "Kurama!" His voice did not echo, that made it worse. "Kurama!" A low growl answered from behind him. Naruto turned. Kurama stood several meters away, immense and orange gold, his tails lashing against the black ground without disturbing it. The fox's eyes narrowed, teeth bared, chakra burning like a fire someone had tried and failed to smother. Naruto rushed toward him, or tried to. After 3 steps, the distance between them stretched. Kurama remained just as far away. Naruto stopped. "What is this?" Kurama's ears flattened. "The place your new eyes open into when you overreach." Naruto swallowed. "Is it a genjutsu?" "No." "A seal?" "No." "Then what?" Kurama looked into the darkness around them. A hunger given shape. Naruto's fists clenched. "That sounds bad. It is worse because it is not cruel." The rings of light widened across the black floor. A figure appeared between them, not all at once. First, a human outline formed from drifting black sparks. Then a face tried to settle and failed. For a moment it looked like Naruto. Then Sasuke. Then Madara. Then no one. Its eyes were the Blacklight Sharingan, true black rings edged in violet-white glow, but there was no emotion behind them. It wore no armor, no cloak, no expression. When it spoke, the voice was Naruto's. "You are tired." Naruto went still. Kurama stepped forward and snarled. The figure did not react. "You are hurt," it continued. "Your arms are failing, your memories are fraying, your enemies grow stronger, your friends stand near you and become targets because you insist on remaining soft." Naruto's jaw tightened. "You're not me." The figure tilted its head. "I am what answered when you called." "I didn't call you, you did. When Sasuke was dying." Naruto flinched. The void figure's face briefly became Sasuke's, left eye ruined and bleeding. "You called with fear, with love, with refusal, with the life force of Ashura and the sacrifice of Indra. You opened the circuit." The black rings beneath Naruto's feet pulsed. Images rose around him. Sasuke stepping in front of the killing blow, blood slipping through Naruto's fingers. Madara's rod tearing across Sasuke's eye, Naruto screaming that he could heal him. The images were not illusions. They were memories, and each one hurt exactly like the first time. Naruto looked away, breathing hard. The figure's voice softened. "You can stop hurting." Naruto froze. Kurama's growl deepened. "Do not listen." The figure turned slightly toward the fox. "You are afraid because you understand me." Kurama bared his teeth. "I understand what you take. I take nothing unwanted." Naruto's eyes snapped back to it. "That's a lie." The figure looked at him with his own face again. "Is it?" The darkness shifted. Suddenly Naruto was not standing in the void. He was standing in the middle of Konoha's old streets, not the destroyed village, not the rebuilt one. The old streets from his childhood, bright afternoon. Vendors calling, children running, adults turning their eyes away as he passed. A little boy with blonde hair stood outside a shop window, pretending not to notice that everyone inside had stopped talking. Naruto's throat tightened. He knew this day. He had been 6, maybe 7. It was hard to remember exactly because so many days had felt the same. The shopkeeper came out with a forced smile and told the boy the store was closing early. Behind him, other children stared. One whispered monster. Young Naruto laughed too loudly and ran away like it did not matter. Adult Naruto stood frozen. The void figure appeared beside him. "This can be removed." Naruto's breath caught. The street paused. The whisper hung in the air. Monster. The figure lifted one hand. The word vanished, not silenced. Gone. The child Naruto kept walking, but his shoulders no longer hunched. The shopkeeper's cold eyes blurred away. The pain in Naruto's chest eased. For a second, it felt good. Too good. The scene changed. Naruto was 12, tied to a post after failing Kakashi's bell test. His stomach growled. Sasuke offered him food even though it meant failing the test. Sakura followed. Kakashi appeared above them, pretending to be angry before telling them they passed. Warmth spread through Naruto. Then the void figure touched the scene. The hunger vanished. The loneliness that made the food matter disappeared. The moment became flatter, still there, but less alive. Naruto stepped back. No, the figure watched him. You want the pain without understanding its cost. I want my memories. You want the bonds, but bonds are made of wounds as much as joy. Naruto's fist shook. The scene changed again. The Valley of the End, rain, Sasuke walking away. Naruto lying broken in the water, reaching with fingers that could not close. The pain hit so hard Naruto nearly dropped to his knees. The figure stood beside him. This can be removed too. Naruto stared at the memory. Sasuke leaving had hurt worse than almost anything. For years, that moment had followed Naruto like a shadow. It had pushed him, haunted him, driven him, made him chase a friend everyone else told him to give up on. The figure lifted its hand in the memory. Sasuke's back began to blur. Naruto lunged. Don't! The scene shattered. He was back in the black expanse, breathing like he had been running for miles. Kurama's eyes softened by a fraction. The void figure lowered its hand. You refused quickly. Naruto glared. Of course I did. Why, that memory brought you suffering. It brought me back to him. The figure blinked slowly. That is inefficient. Naruto almost laughed, sharp and bitter. Yeah, well, I'm not a machine. No, you are a boy trying to carry a god-killing power with a human heart. The words struck harder than he expected. Naruto looked down at his hands. They were shaking. I don't want to be a god. Then you will lose. The darkness opened above them. Through it, Naruto saw the battlefield, not as a clear window, as if he were looking up from the bottom of deep water. Madara moved. Team 7 fought without him. Sakura struck the ground again and again, forcing Madara's footing to shift, trying to keep him from reaching Naruto's collapsed body. Kakashi used lightning clones and feints, his movements precise but slowing. Sasuke stood at the center of it all, one eye blazing, one side blind, guiding everyone with short, sharp commands. 2 steps right, Sakura obeyed. A truth-seeking spike missed her shoulder. Kakashi, low wire. Kakashi dropped a lightning line across Madara's path. Madara destroyed it instantly, but the half-second delay saved Sakura from a counterattack. Clone behind him. One of Naruto's remaining shadow clones leapt from the smoke with a Rasengan. Madara turned and erased it with an orb, but Sasuke used the turn to throw a kunai wrapped in a paper tag. The tag exploded near Madara's face. It did nothing, but Madara blinked, a human blink. Sasuke saw it and smiled without humor. You still react? Madara looked at him. Bold words from a half-blind child holding a broken sword. Sasuke lifted the useless hilt in his hand. Still enough to annoy you. Madara's expression cooled. The battlefield window rippled. Naruto stepped toward it. Sasuke! The void figure appeared beside him. He will die. Naruto froze. If you continue resisting me, he will die. Sakura will die. Kakashi will die. The army will die. Madara is no longer merely an Uchiha with ambition. He carries the Ten-Tails. He carries the Rinnegan. He carries the patience of a man who has mistaken eternity for wisdom. The battlefield above showed Madara striking. Kakashi blocked with kunai and lightning. The truth-seeking staff shattered the kunai and threw Kakashi backward. He hit the ground hard and did not rise immediately. Sakura screamed his name. Naruto's hands clenched. The void figure continued. I can end this. Naruto looked at it. The figure raised one hand. The black expanse responded. Rings widened. Violet-white light sharpened. Naruto felt the Blacklight Sharingan inside him open fully, wider than it ever had on the battlefield. In the vision above, Madara froze, not truly. The battlefield was only a reflection, but Naruto understood what the void was showing, a possibility. The figure's voice became gentle. Give me enough of yourself, and we will erase the link between Madara and the Ten Tails. Give me more, and we erase his orbs. More, and we erase his Rinnegan's command. More, and we erase the man himself. Naruto's stomach turned. No. You say no because you imagine blood. There will be none, no pain, no cruelty. He will simply cease to be a problem. That's killing him. Yes, the honesty was terrible. Naruto shook his head. I'm not doing that. Then he kills them. The battlefield shifted again. Madara stood over Sasuke. Sasuke's broken sword was gone now. His shoulder was bleeding. He was breathing hard, but still standing between Madara and Naruto's body. Madara tilted his head. You have no new eye, no divine chakra, no perfect weapon. Why do you remain? Sasuke spat blood to the side. Because someone has to. Madara raised a black staff. The vision froze. The void figure turned to Naruto. One memory. Naruto's blood went cold. What? One memory for enough power to save him now. Naruto stared. The figure's face became softer, almost kind. Not all of yourself, not yet. A single memory. Choose one that hurts. Choose the loneliness at the shop. Choose the villagers' hatred. Choose Jiraiya's death. Choose the valley. I will take it, and you will wake with enough power to stop Madara's strike. Naruto could not breathe. Kurama stepped closer, chakra flaring. Do not bargain with it. The figure did not look at him. It is already bargaining. Every use has taken fragments without choice because he acts without shape. I offer control. Naruto looked at Kurama. The fox's expression was fierce, but beneath it Naruto saw fear, real fear. Kurama, who had faced Madara before. Kurama, who had been chained, controlled, hated, sealed, and used as a weapon for generations. Kurama was afraid of what this power could make Naruto become. Naruto, Kurama said, voice low. Pain is not the enemy. Naruto's throat tightened. Kurama's tail stilled. For years, I thought hatred was strength because it made everything simple. If they hurt me, I hated them. If they feared me, I hated them. If they used me, I hated them. Hatred gave every wound one answer. The fox's eyes narrowed at the void figure. This thing offers a cleaner answer. That does not make it better. Naruto looked back at the frozen image of Sasuke. Madara's staff was inches from him. Sasuke was holding the line for him. Again, Naruto whispered, If I don't take it, Kurama's voice softened. Then we find another way. What if there isn't one? Kurama did not answer quickly. The void figure did. There is one. Naruto closed his eyes. He could choose one memory, one painful piece. Would it be so bad? The villagers' hatred had nearly broken him. The loneliness, the rejection, the valley. The sound of Jiraiya's last lesson in his head when he found out his master was gone. If he gave one away, he could save Sasuke. Wasn't that worth it? But then Naruto remembered the shopkeeper turning away. He remembered the sting. He remembered Uruka later buying him ramen, and sitting beside him like Naruto was not a monster. If he erased the pain, what happened to the warmth that answered it? He remembered Sasuke leaving. If he erased that, what happened to the promise to bring him back? He remembered Jiraiya's death. If he erased that grief, what happened to the dream his master had trusted him with? Naruto opened his eyes. They were blue in the void, not black, blue. No, the figure stared at him. No, it repeated. Naruto stood straighter. I'm not giving you my memories. Then you choose their deaths. No. The word came stronger. I choose to remember why I fight. The void around him rippled. Kurama's ears lifted slightly. Naruto pointed at the battlefield above. Those memories hurt because people matter. Sasuke matters. Sakura-chan matters. Kakashi-sensei matters. Everyone out there matters. If I start cutting pieces of myself away every time saving them gets hard, then what am I protecting? The figure's expression did not change. You will lack the strength to end the war. Naruto's fists clenched. Then don't end it for me. The rings beneath his feet pulsed. I'm not asking you to erase everything. The void figure tilted its head. Naruto stepped toward it. I'm asking you to listen. Kurama's eyes widened slightly. The figure said nothing. Naruto pressed one hand to his chest. You came from Sasuke and me, from Kurama's chakra. from Ashura and Indra, or whatever old names Madara keeps throwing around. But you didn't awaken because I wanted to delete someone." He looked up. "You awakened because Sasuke gave something up to save me, and I refused to let that be the end." The black expanse trembled. Naruto's voice grew steadier. "You're not just void. You're the space left behind when something is sacrificed, and that space can either become emptiness." He thought of Sasuke's ruined eye, his own guilt, the hole in the ground where the first void flicker had nearly hurt Sakura. Then he thought of Sasuke saying, "My choice." Naruto breathed in, "Or it can become a promise." The figure's face flickered. Naruto's face, Sasuke's, neither, both. "A promise is inefficient," it said. Naruto smiled faintly. "Yeah, people are like that." For the first time, the figure looked uncertain. Kurama huffed. "Brat." Naruto glanced at him. Kurama's mouth curled, not quite a smile. "You always did have the talent to argue with impossible things." Naruto turned back to the figure. "I won't let you take my memories. I won't let you decide what needs to be erased, but I won't pretend you're not part of me either." The darkness stilled. Naruto took another step closer. "You want an answer? Fine, here's the answer." He lifted his hand, not to attack, to offer. "We erase only what threatens the bond. Not the person, not the pain, not the past, the chain, the weapon, the control, the lie, the thing that turns people into tools." The figure stared at his hand above them. Sasuke's frozen image flickered. Madara's staff moved another inch. Time was slipping. The figure spoke. "You will still pay." Naruto nodded. "I know. You will feel pain. I know. You will remember everything." Naruto's eyes hardened. "That's the point." The figure reached out. Its fingers touched Naruto's. The void collapsed inward, not onto Naruto, into him. He screamed, not because it was destroying him, because it was fitting where it had never fit before. The Blacklight Sharingan was not closing. It was changing shape inside his will. The hunger remained. The power remained. The ability to erase remained, but now it had a boundary, not a wall made of chakra, a rule, Naruto's rule: protect bonds, sever chains, refuse emptiness. Kurama roared, not in fear now, but to anchor him. Orange-gold chakra surged through the black expanse, wrapping around Naruto like a cloak. The violet-white rings turned warm at their edges, not losing their darkness, but no longer swallowing everything around them. Naruto saw memories flash again: loneliness, ramen, Sasuke leaving, Sasuke returning, Jiraiya laughing, Jiraiya gone, Sakura smiling through tears, Kakashi standing in front of him, Iruka's headband, Hinata's hands, Kurama's first true fist bump. They hurt, they stayed. Naruto opened his eyes inside the void. The blacklight rings now glowed around blue pupils. The figure was gone, or maybe it was everywhere. Kurama stood beside him. This time the distance did not stretch. Naruto looked up at the battlefield window. Madara's staff was descending toward Sasuke. Naruto's expression sharpened. "Kurama." The fox's grin showed teeth. "Go!" The void shattered. On the battlefield, time slammed back into motion. Sasuke stood between Madara and Naruto's body. His body was barely obeying him. His blind side burned with absence. His ribs ached. His legs shook. He had lost the sword, lost the eye, lost the easy certainty that came from seeing everything before anyone else could move. But he had not lost his place. Madara's black staff came down. Sasuke lifted a kunai. It was absurd. A kunai against the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. Madara's expression almost showed disappointment. Pride is ugly when it survives usefulness. Sasuke's right eye blazed. "I'm not standing here because I'm useful." Madara paused. Sasuke's voice was quiet. "I'm standing here because he would." The staff dropped. Sakura screamed. Kakashi pushed himself up too late. The staff was inches from Sasuke's chest when Naruto's hand caught it. Blacklight exploded outward. Not wild, not hungry. Controlled. Naruto stood between Sasuke and Madara, one hand gripping the staff, Blacklight Sharingan burning in his eyes. The rings were still black, still edged in violet-white glow, but now deep within them, Naruto's blue remained visible like sky behind an eclipse. Madara's eyes widened. The staff did not vanish entirely. Naruto did not try to erase it all. Instead, black lightning crawled from his fingers into the connection between Madara's will and the weapon. Black lightning. Severance. The control line snapped, the staff lost shape, collapsing into harmless black dust before reforming behind Madara as an orb. Naruto's hand trembled. But it did not go numb, not fully. Sasuke stared at his back. Naruto did not look away from Madara. "Sorry," he said, voice rough. "Took me a second." Sasuke exhaled, almost laughing, slow as always. Naruto grinned. "Yeah, but I got here." Sakura fell to her knees behind them, relief breaking across her face. Kakashi lowered his kunai, eyes softening for the briefest moment. Madara stared at Naruto with something new, not fear, not curiosity, recognition that the boy had crossed a threshold and returned still himself. "That power offered you more," Madara said. Naruto's smile faded. "Yeah, and you refused." "I corrected it." Madara's expression hardened. Naruto raised his head, blacklight lightning curling calmly around his eyes now. "I'm not erasing my way to peace." The battlefield wind shifted. The allied forces, battered and exhausted, looked toward him. Obito, barely conscious near Kakashi's earlier position, opened one eye and saw Naruto standing where Madara's killing blow should have landed. For the first time in a long time, Obito looked uncertain. Madara's truth-seeking orb spread behind him. Naruto stepped forward. Sasuke moved beside him, still injured, still half-blind, still essential. Sakura rose behind them. Kakashi joined her. Team 7 faced the god Madara was becoming. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan burned steady now, not empty. "Not kind, chosen." Madara lifted both hands. "Then prove your correction matters." Naruto rolled his shoulders, his arms still hurt, his life force still trembled, his memories still carried every scar, but they were his, and he would not trade them. "Gladly," Naruto said. Black lightning gathered around his palm, no longer screaming, no longer reaching for everything, waiting for one target. One link, one chance. The final battle began. Madara looked almost pleased. That was the worst part. The battlefield should have frightened any living man. The earth was torn open in scars stretching from horizon to horizon. Smoke drifted through the air in gray sheets. Thousands of shinobi stood battered and shaking beneath a sky twisted by Ten-Tail's chakra. Obito lay broken near the ruins of the ritual circle. Team 7 stood together with blood on their clothes, exhaustion in their bones, and no easy path left in front of them. And Madara smiled. He floated above the cracked ground, pale chakra wrapped around him like divine armor. Truth-seeking orbs hovered behind him in a perfect ring. His Rinnegan eyes held the calm of someone who had looked at the impossible and decided it belonged beneath him. Naruto stood across from him. The Blacklight Sharingan burned in his eyes. Black rings, violet-white edges, drifting tamo like sparks trapped in a night sky. But now, beneath the darkness, there was blue. Naruto's blue, not swallowed, not erased. Still there, Madara noticed. "You returned from it," he said. Naruto's fingers curled slowly. His hands still ached. His arms still carried numbness from the black lightning backlash. His life force felt thinner than it had at the start of the fight, like every breath had to travel farther to reach him, but his mind was clear, his memories hurt. That meant they were still his. "Yeah," Naruto said. "Guess it didn't like my answer." Madara's smile sharpened. "Or perhaps it accepted that you needed one more illusion of choice before surrendering." Sasuke stepped beside Naruto. His left eye remained bandaged and gone. His right eye watched Madara with cold focus. He held no sword now, no perfect Susanoo, no divine gift waiting to save him. His body was injured, his balance imperfect, and yet his presence steadied the battlefield more than any weapon could. "You still think every power wants what you want," Sasuke said. Madara's gaze shifted to him. "And you still speak as if sacrifice has made you wise." Sasuke's expression did not change. "No," he said. "It made me sure." Sakura came to Naruto's other side, fists clenched, Byakugo seal glowing faintly on her forehead. She was breathing hard, but her eyes were fierce. Kakashi landed behind them, one hand braced against his knee for only a second before he straightened. His visible eye moved across his students. Team 7, again, still. Madara looked at them and exhaled through his nose. You gather around him like that makes him stronger. Naruto smiled. It does. Madara's orbs spread outward. Then I will remove the gathering. The first orb shot forward, flattening into a blade aimed not at Naruto, but at Sakura. Naruto saw the path. The Blacklight Sharingan offered an answer: erase. He rejected the shape of it and chose the rule he had made inside himself. Not the person, not the world, the threat. Naruto thrust his palm outward, black lightning. Severance snapped from his fingertips, thin and silent, striking not the orb itself, but the thread of Madara's control behind it. The orb wavered for half a heartbeat. Sakura used that heartbeat. She ducked under the blade, planted her feet, and drove her fist into the ground beneath Madara's projected path. The earth exploded upward. Madara shifted slightly. Sasuke was already moving. Now, Kakashi threw a lightning-coated kunai through the smoke. Madara tilted his head to avoid it, exactly as Sasuke predicted. Naruto crossed the distance with a chakra arm, not swinging at Madara's body, but snapping toward the nearest truth-seeking orb. Madara's eyes narrowed. He pulled the orb back, too late. Naruto's chakra arm brushed its control line with black lightning. The orb flickered. Sasuke stepped into the opening and slammed his palm against Naruto's back. Not an attack, a signal. Naruto understood. He dropped. Sakura came over him like a falling star. Her fist struck Madara's chest. The impact rang across the battlefield. Madara skidded backward through the air, his pale armor cracking in a thin line before sealing itself again. The allied forces gasped. Sakura landed hard, arms shaking from the recoil. Madara touched the crack on his armor. His smile vanished. "Good," he said quietly. Then his chakra surged. The pressure hit everyone at once. Naruto threw a void wall in front of Sakura before the blast could crush her. Layered black planes opened and shattered one after another, each erasing only a fraction of the force. Sakura slid back behind the barrier, boots carving trenches into the ground. Naruto's knees bent. Pain stabbed through his eyes, but the wall held long enough. Kakashi pulled Sasuke away from a second blast, while Sasuke pointed without looking. 3 o'clock, Naruto twisted. A limbo shadow struck from the side. He could not see it clearly, but the Blacklight Sharingan saw absence bending around an invisible fist. Naruto raised his forearm, but instead of forming a full barrier, he flicked black lightning along the shadow's chakra outline. Severance struck. The invisible blow distorted. It still hit him. Hard, Naruto flew backward, rolled twice, and caught himself on one knee, but the strike had lost enough force not to break him. Sasuke saw the result. "It works on the shadows," Naruto coughed. Mostly. Mostly is better than nothing. High praise. Don't get used to it." Madara's expression hardened further. He lifted both hands. 4 limbo shadows pressed forward at once. Sasuke could not see them. Sakura could not see them. Kakashi could barely sense the distortion from Naruto's reactions. Naruto saw too much again. 4 invisible bodies. 8 possible paths. Truth-seeking orbs shifting behind Madara. Chakra pressure above. The Ten-Tails link beneath his skin. Too many threads, his breath sharpened. Sasuke's voice cut through. "Pick the closest," Naruto obeyed. 1 shadow, 1 path, 1 connection. Black lightning. Severance snapped outward. The closest limbo shadow stuttered. Sakura moved where Sasuke pointed, not where she could see. Her fist slammed into empty air. For one incredible moment, resistance met her punch. The invisible shadow was thrown back. Sakura's eyes widened. "I hit it," Sasuke said. "Yes," Sakura smiled fiercely. "Good." Kakashi appeared behind the second distortion with a lightning clone. The shadow destroyed the clone, but the explosion of lightning outlined its shape for half a second. Naruto used that half-second to form a narrow void wall, angling it like a blade of darkness. The shadow struck the edge. Its arm thinned, not erased completely, but damaged enough to withdraw. Madara watched the coordination with growing irritation. "They cannot even see my shadows," he said. "And still you make them useful." Naruto stood, breathing hard. "That's called teamwork. Madara's eyes narrowed. That is called dependency? No, Sakura said, stepping beside Naruto. It's called trusting people to cover what you can't. Sasuke's gaze remained locked on Madara. And adapting when something is taken. Kakashi's hand tightened around his kunai. Something you never learned, Madara. You only replace what you lose with something stronger. For a heartbeat, Madara was silent. Then he laughed once, cold. You speak as though loss teaches virtue. Loss teaches only one truth. His truth-seeking orbs rose behind him. Power decides who suffers from it. The orbs merged, not into a blade, not into a shield, into a massive black sphere above his palm. The air bent around it. The ground beneath Team 7 cracked. Shinobi across the battlefield stumbled backward as sensors screamed warnings. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan widened. The attack was not aimed at him. It was aimed at the battlefield, at everyone. Madara's voice carried over the ruins. If bonds are your strength, then let their number become your burden. He released the sphere. It descended slowly. That made it more terrifying, a giant black sun falling toward the allied forces. Naruto took one step forward. Sasuke grabbed his sleeve. Don't take it all. Naruto did not look away from the attack. I know. Do you? Naruto's mouth tightened. The old Naruto would have thrown everything into one barrier until his body broke. Maybe he still wanted to. Every instinct screamed to stand between the attack and everyone else. But the Blacklight Sharingan saw the truth. He could not erase the whole sphere. Trying would kill him. Or worse, it would take the memories that kept him Naruto. So he looked deeper, not at the attack size, at its structure. The truth-seeking mass was held together by Madara's will, 6 paths chakra, and the 10 tails link pulsing inside him. Naruto did not need to delete the sphere. He needed to break its shape. Sasuke, Naruto said. Sasuke's eye narrowed. I'm listening. I need you to tell everyone to hit the outer shell when I open it. Sakura stared at him. Open it! Naruto nodded. Not stop it. Crack it. Kakashi understood first. You're going to sever the control line, not all of it, Naruto said. Just enough to make the shell unstable. Sasuke looked at the falling sphere, then at Naruto. You'll have 1 second. Naruto smiled faintly. Then yell fast. Sasuke turned toward the allied forces, voice cutting through the battlefield. All units, aim for the outer edge, do not hit the center. Wind, lightning, earth projectiles, anything with force. Wait for Naruto's signal. Some shinobi hesitated. They had been following commanders all day, legends all night, and impossible hope since Naruto joined the battlefield. But Sasuke Uchiha, half-blind and bloodied, stood with such absolute certainty that doubt had no room to grow. Gaara's sand rose first in the distance. Then the Earth-style users. Then lightning squads. Then every shinobi who could still lift an arm prepared one final volley. Madara watched, unimpressed. Children throwing stones at the moon. Naruto lifted both hands. The Blacklight Sharingan burned. Kurama's chakra rose behind him, forming the fox's shape, not full, not stable, but strong enough. Kurama's massive hands closed around Naruto's smaller ones from within the cloak. Together, Kurama said. Naruto nodded. Together. Black lightning gathered. It crawled over Naruto's arms, but this time Kurama's chakra wrapped it, guiding the backlash away from his nerves as much as possible. It would not remove the cost. Nothing could, but it could keep him standing. Naruto waited. The sphere fell closer, closer. The pressure crushed the battlefield. Sakura planted a hand on Naruto's back, pouring just enough medical chakra into him to steady his body without interfering with the technique. You drop, I drag you back, she said. Naruto smiled. Deal! Sasuke stood on Naruto's other side. Center line is shifting left, he said. Madara's adjusting. Naruto's eyes tracked the control thread. Madara was hiding it among hundreds of false chakra flows. Sasuke saw Naruto hesitate. The real one is the thread he isn't protecting. Naruto blinked, then he saw it. Madara had shielded every obvious control line, except the smallest. The one he assumed no one could reach. Naruto grinned. Got it. He thrust both hands forward. Severance! Black lightning shot upward, not wide, not wild. A single bolt, thin as a thread and black as night, edged in violet-white light. It struck the hidden control line. For one heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the falling sphere cracked. Naruto screamed as backlash ripped through both arms, his fingers locked. His shoulders burned. Sakura's chakra surged at his back to keep him from collapsing. Sasuke shouted, "Now!" The allied forces fired. Sand spears, lightning bolts, stone lances, wind blades, explosive tags, chakra bullets, and every last desperate technique the army could muster slammed into the cracked outer shell. The sphere did not explode. It unraveled. Pieces of truth-seeking matter peeled away from the damaged structure, falling in harmless fragments that dissolved before touching the ground. The center mass still descended, smaller but deadly. Naruto raised a layered void wall beneath it, not to erase, to thin. The black sphere struck the wall. Layer after layer vanished. Naruto felt the pull on his life force and gritted his teeth. Names: Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Kurama, Iruka, Jiraiya, Hinata, everyone. The wall shattered. The remaining sphere hit the ground far ahead of the allied forces, weakened enough that the impact carved a massive crater but did not wipe out the army. Dust rolled over the battlefield. For several seconds, no one moved. Then cheers began, weak at first. Then louder. Naruto dropped to one knee. Sakura caught him under the arm. His hands hung uselessly, fingers curled stiffly. Madara stared at the crater, then at Naruto. For the first time, true anger entered his face. "You reduced divine power to a group tactic." Naruto lifted his head, breathing hard. "Yeah," Sasuke stepped forward. "That's why you keep losing to him." Madara's gaze snapped to Sasuke. The air chilled. Sakura moved in front of him immediately, but Sasuke lifted one hand. No, he stepped past her. Naruto looked at him. "Sasuke!" Sasuke did not stop. He walked toward Madara with no sword, no left eye, and no new godly power. Madara watched with narrowed eyes. "You are either brave or empty." Sasuke stopped several meters from him. "I know what you want." Madara's expression cooled. Sasuke continued, "You want Naruto angry. You want him desperate. You want him to use more void than he can control. Because then either he destroys himself or you see enough to understand how to steal the result." Madara said nothing. Naruto's Blacklight Sharingan pulsed. Sasuke was right. Madara's attacks had been massive, but each one had forced Naruto to reveal more barriers: severance, control, range, cost. Madara was still studying him, even now. Sasuke turned his head slightly. "Naruto." Naruto looked at him. "Don't show him the final answer until there's nothing left for him to learn from." Naruto's eyes widened. Madara moved. A truth-seeking spike shot toward Sasuke's blind side. Naruto's body lurched forward, but his arms did not respond. Sakura screamed. Kakashi threw himself into motion. But someone else arrived first. Space twisted. Obito appeared between Sasuke and the spike. Not fully standing, barely alive. His Kamui pulled the spike off course, swallowing only part of it before the strain tore through him. The remaining edge grazed his shoulder and shattered against the ground behind him. Obito fell to one knee. Kakashi froze. "Obito?" Obito breathed like every breath had a weight attached. His body was no longer pale with Ten-Tail's power. He was just a man again, broken, exhausted, and stripped of the dream he had used as armor. Madara looked down at him with disgust. "You still move." Obito lifted his head when I found Kakashi, then Naruto, then Sasuke. "I was always good," Obito rasped, "at being late." Kakashi's face twisted with grief. "Why?" Obito's mouth trembled faintly. "Because he was right." Naruto stared at him. Obito looked toward Madara. "A dream where no one chooses anything isn't peace." Madara's expression darkened. "Spare me the deathbed wisdom of a failed pawn." Obito flinched, but did not look away. "No." He raised a shaking hand. Kamui's spiral formed again, weaker than before, but aimed not at Madara's body, at the space behind him, at the cluster of truth-seeking orbs Madara had pulled close. Kakashi understood instantly. He formed the same Kamui pattern with his own eye. For one final moment, their powers aligned. Two halves of the same wound, two boys who had once dreamed of being heroes. The space around Madara's orbs twisted violently. Madara reacted, pulling them back, but Kakashi and Obito were not trying to remove them completely. They were moving them, forcing an opening. Sasuke shouted, "Naruto!" Naruto saw it. For the first time all battle, Madara's link to the Ten Tails was exposed, not the whole thing, a thread. Deep beneath his armor, beneath the Rinnegan's control, beneath the divine shape he had wrapped himself in. A connection between man and beast. Madara sensed Naruto seeing it. His eyes widened. Impossible. Naruto stood. His arms were nearly useless, so he did not rely on them alone. Kurama's chakra formed around him, shaping one massive golden-black arm behind his own. Sakura pressed both hands to Naruto's back, feeding medical support into his failing body. Kakashi held Kamui with blood running from his eye. Obito held the other side, shaking violently. Sasuke stood at Naruto's side, giving him the line. "Straight through the opening," Sasuke said. "Not his heart, not the orbs, the link." Naruto nodded, his palm lifted slowly. A Rasengan formed. At first it was familiar, blue chakra spinning in his hand. Then Kurama's chakra wrapped around it, orange gold and fierce. Then black lightning threaded through the outer rotation, silent and sharp. Finally, the void opened at the center, not uncontrolled, not hungry. A small black core, ringed with violet-white light, contained within the spinning shell. Sasuke's earlier advice shaped it, Rasengan outside, void inside, lightning between. The technique did not fight itself now, it sang. Low. Heavy, final Rasengan, black requiem. Naruto's eyes burned brighter than ever. Madara's expression changed. For 1 second, the man who wanted to become a god looked fully human. Concerned, Naruto moved, not alone. Sakura pushed chakra through his body. Kurama drove him forward. Kakashi and Obito held space open. Sasuke ran beside him, guiding him past Madara's last desperate feints. Right. Naruto shifted. Low, he ducked under a truth-seeking blade. Now Madara threw every remaining orb toward him. Naruto did not erase them. The black requiem touched the control lines as he passed. Black lightning. Severance snapped them one by one. The orbs fell out of formation. Madara reached for gravity. Sasuke threw himself into Naruto's side, changing his angle just enough to avoid the center of the pressure. Sakura's chakra surged again, keeping Naruto's body from tearing under the force. Obito screamed as Kamui widened one last fraction. Kakashi shouted his name. Naruto crossed the final distance. Madara raised a hand to block. Naruto's palm drove the Rasengan. Black requiem into his chest. Not through flesh, through connection. The void core touched the Ten Tails link. For one heartbeat, everything went silent. Then black lightning spread across Madara's body in thin lines. Madara gasped, his Rinnegan widened. The Ten Tails chakra inside him recoiled, not destroyed, not erased, but severed from his command. The link frayed. The divine armor cracked. Truth-seeking orbs collapsed into dust. Pale chakra peeled away from him in burning sheets of light. Naruto screamed as the technique drained him. Not enough to erase Madara. Not enough to delete the Ten Tails. Only the bond between them. The thing that made a man into a god against the world's will. The requiem spun once more. The link snapped. A shockwave blasted outward. Naruto and Madara flew apart. The sky cleared in a single violent breath. The Ten Tails chakra dispersed upward and outward, no longer shaped by Madara's will, pulled back into the broken remnants of the beast's ancient shell and the battlefield's seals surrounding it. The pressure crushing the world lifted. Madara hit the ground hard. For the first time, he did not rise immediately. Naruto crashed into Sakura and Sasuke, all three tumbling across the earth. Kurama's cloak flickered and vanished. The blacklight glow dimmed in Naruto's eyes, though the rings remained faintly visible. Kakashi fell to one knee. Obito collapsed beside him. The battlefield was silent. Then Madara coughed. He pushed himself up slowly. The divine markings were gone. The pale armor was gone. The truth-seeking orbs were gone. He was still dangerous, still Madara, but mortal again, older somehow. As if godhood had been a mask ripped away, leaving only a man who had spent too long chasing the moon. Naruto forced himself to stand with Sakura under one arm and Sasuke gripping his shoulder. Madara stared at him. "You could have erased me." Naruto's breathing shook. "Yeah, why not?" Naruto met his gaze. "Because I'm not you." Madara was quiet. Wind moved across the battlefield, carrying dust and the distant groans of the wounded. Madara looked toward the sky, now clearing slowly into bruised blue-black clouds. "The world will continue its cycle," he said. "War, loss, betrayal. Children standing where old men failed." Naruto's voice was tired, but steady. "Maybe," Madara looked back at him. Naruto's blacklight eyes glowed faintly. "But it'll continue with people awake enough to choose better." Madara's mouth twitched, not a smile, not quite, a childish answer. Naruto smiled weakly. "Yeah, I get that a lot." Madara lowered his gaze for a moment. The battlefield saw not a legend, not a monster, not a god, but an old shinobi who had mistaken control for peace and power for understanding. Then his body swayed. Kakashi watched carefully, but Madara did not attack. His chakra was fading. The severance had not just stripped the Ten Tails away. It had torn through the pathways Madara had forced open to contain it. He had reached beyond what even his body could hold, and now the cost had come due. Madara looked once toward Sasuke. "Indra's child," he said. Sasuke's expression remained guarded. Madara's gaze shifted to Naruto. "Ashura's fool," Naruto frowned. "That sounds like an insult." "It is." Madara's eyes lowered. "And perhaps not only one," he exhaled slowly. "The wind took the rest." Madara fell silent. No grand speech, no final attack, no world-ending curse, just quiet. Naruto stood there for several seconds, waiting for the next disaster. None came. Then the allied forces began to move. Medics rushed forward. Sensornin checked the battlefield. Earth-style users reinforced unstable ground. Those who could still walk helped those who could not. The war had not vanished. The dead had not returned. The wounds remained. But the moon above them was only the moon. The infinite Tsukuyomi had failed. Naruto turned sharply. "Obito?" Kakashi was already beside him. Obito lay on his back, breathing shallowly. Sakura rushed over and dropped to her knees, hands glowing, but after one scan her face tightened. Kakashi saw it, so did Obito. The broken man gave a small, tired smile. "Don't look like that, Kakashi." Kakashi's hand trembled. "You idiot!" Obito's smile grew faintly. "Yeah." Naruto knelt nearby, though Sakura gave him a warning look not to move too fast. Obito looked at him. "You really didn't erase him?" Naruto shook his head. "No, I would have." Naruto did not answer. Obito's eye drifted toward the clearing sky. "Maybe that's why you won." Kakashi closed his eye. Obito's voice softened. "I saw her for so long in a dream, I forgot she would have hated what I did." Kakashi's breath caught. Obito looked at him one last time. "Don't follow me too soon." Kakashi gave a broken laugh, still giving orders. "Someone has to." His eyes shifted to Naruto and Sasuke. "Take care of the idiot." Both Naruto and Sasuke said, "Which one?" For a second, Obito actually smiled. Then his breathing eased. The tension left his face. Kakashi bowed his head. No one spoke for a while, not even Naruto. Some losses did not need words immediately. They needed to be held, later. When the first light touched the battlefield, Naruto sat on a broken stone while Sakura wrapped his arms. His fingers had started to move again, barely, but the nerve backlash would take time. Maybe weeks, maybe longer. Every real use of black lightning had carved pain into the pathways. His life force was bruised in a way Sakura could not fully explain. "You are banned from inventing new techniques for at least a month," she said. Naruto blinked. "Can you ban me? I can punch you." "Fair." Sasuke sat a few feet away, silent. The bandage over his left eye was clean now, too clean. Naruto looked at it and felt guilt rise again, sharp and familiar. He stood. Sakura grabbed his sleeve. Slowly. "I know you don't. I kind of know, she glared. He moved slowly. Naruto sat beside Sasuke. For a while, neither spoke. Then Naruto said, I can try. Sasuke did not look at him. No, you don't even know what I was going to say. You want to try restoring my eye? Naruto's mouth tightened. Maybe the blacklight can do something, not erase, maybe reverse the damage or reconnect. No! Naruto looked at him. Sasuke's right eye remained on the horizon. It's gone. Naruto's hands curled weakly. It doesn't have to be. Sasuke finally turned. Yes, he said. It does. Naruto flinched. Sasuke's voice was quiet, not cruel. That eye was the proof everyone used to define me. Prodigy, Avenger, Uchiha, weapon, curse. I let it define me too. He touched the bandage lightly. I gave it away before it could be taken. Naruto swallowed. Sasuke, it is not a wound I need you to fix. Naruto stared at him. Sasuke looked back with one eye. It was my choice. I'm keeping it. The words settled between them. Heavy, painful, right. Naruto looked down. I hate it. I know. I'm still sorry. I know, Sasuke sighed. But if you apologize every day, I'll leave the village again just to avoid hearing it. Naruto's head snapped up. Don't joke about that. I'm serious. You better not be. Sasuke's mouth twitched. Naruto stared, then laughed despite himself. It hurt his ribs, it hurt his eyes. It hurt something deeper too, but it was laughter, and it stayed. Later still, when the battlefield had become a camp of medics, survivors, and exhausted silence, Naruto walked alone to the edge of a cracked ridge. Kurama stirred inside him. You are planning something foolish. Naruto smiled faintly. Not foolish. That usually means very foolish. Naruto looked out over the battlefield, his Blacklight Sharingan reflected in a broken pool of water at his feet. The eyes still looked unreal. Powerful, beautiful in a frightening way, hungry if he forgot himself. He remembered the void, the bargain. The ease of removing pain. Naruto lifted one hand and pressed 2 fingers beneath his eyes. Kurama's voice sharpened. Kit. I'm not destroying it, Naruto said softly. I don't think I could. What are you doing, making a rule harder to break? He formed a seal, not a normal sealing technique. A promise shaped with chakra. Kurama's yang chakra answered. Sakura's earlier healing chakra still lingered in his network. Sasuke's Indra resonance, faint but permanent, lived in the blacklight itself. Naruto wove them together carefully, slowly, refusing to rush. The Blacklight Sharingan flared. Pain spiked behind his eyes. He nearly stopped. Then he remembered Madara's smile when he realized Naruto could erase. He remembered the void offering to take one memory. He remembered almost forgetting Sasuke's name. Naruto kept going. Black rings tightened. The wildest edge of the void, the part that wanted to answer every danger by removing everything, folded inward. Not gone. Sealed behind Naruto's will, it would still be there if the world truly needed it, but it would not leap free every time he was afraid. A self-seal, a choice. The glow in his eyes dimmed. The rings remained faint and black, but calmer. Naruto exhaled and nearly fell. A hand caught his shoulder. Sasuke. Naruto blinked. Were you spying? Yes. At least lie. No. Sakura appeared on his other side, arms crossed. Kakashi stood behind them. Naruto looked between them. How long were you all there? Kakashi's eye curved faintly. Long enough. Sakura hit Naruto lightly on the back of the head. Oh, that was for doing another dangerous eye thing alone. It was sealing, dangerous sealing. Sasuke looked at Naruto's eyes. You limited it. Naruto nodded. Yeah. Why? Naruto looked back at the battlefield. Because I don't want to become someone who only knows how to erase problems. Sasuke was quiet, then he said, Good. Naruto glanced at him. That's it? That's enough. Naruto smiled. For Sasuke it was. Kakashi looked at his students standing together beneath the pale morning light and felt the weight of the night settle into something almost bearable. They had not fixed the world, but they had saved it from sleeping forever. That would have to be enough for today. Far above them, unseen by any living eye, the moon drifted behind the last thin veil of cloud. For a moment, a shadow crossed its surface. Not Madara's, not Obito's, something older. Deep beneath the broken roots of the god tree, where Tentail's chakra had recoiled after being severed, a faint pulse moved through the earth. One heartbeat. Then another, in a place beyond sight, beyond memory, a presence stirred. Not awake, not yet, but aware. The Blacklight Sharingan had cut a link that was never meant to be touched, and somewhere ancient, something had felt the blade. On the ridge, Naruto looked up suddenly. Sasuke noticed. What? Naruto stared at the moon. For a second, the black rings in his eyes glowed, then faded. Nothing, he said. Sasuke did not believe him. Sakura did not either. Kakashi definitely did not. Naruto smiled anyway. The war was over. The cost remained. The future waited. And Naruto Uzumaki, with the eye beyond Rinnegan sealed behind his own stubborn heart, chose to step toward it as himself.